The Firebirds Fan Zone podcast is brought to you by Kyle Garman Realtor. Whether you're buying or selling, whether for your forever home or that quiet desert vacation getaway, Kyle Garman and the team at Keller Williams have the experience and skill to make the process simple and convenient. Check them out today at kylegarman.kw.com. Our podcast is also brought to you by DesertDefenseLawyers.com, DUI and criminal defense throughout the Coachella Valley. The criminal justice system is scary and confusing, but relief is just a click away at DesertDefenseLawyers.com, where we've been keeping folks out of the penalty box since 2008. The Coachella Valley Firebirds are bringing the Valley closer together, and the Firebirds Fan Zone podcast is your weekly dose of everything Firebirds. If you have suggestions for guests or questions you'd like answered or anything you want to add, be sure to leave them in the comments. If you like what you hear, please remember to hit that like button for this episode and be sure to subscribe. So if you're ready, here we go. Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1.
Firebirds goal! Scoring his 13th goal of the playoff. The captain, number 17, Max McCormick, assisted by number 19, Cameron Hughes. Welcome to the Firebirds Fan Zone with your hosts, David and Kyle.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Fidget with it, you can. Everything is good.
All right, we're rocking and rolling. Guys, we're back for another one.
So excited.
It seems like it's like yesterday.
I know, I love it.
But I don't even know what number this is. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We are here. We are having some fun. We've got Tim O'Brien with us today, and you may not recognize him from being so up close.
That's true.
Usually he's all over. We're going to get to all that.
Yes.
But first, let's do the first things first.
First things first. So, number one, I want to thank everybody out there who has been supporting us, subscribing, telling their friends. It's been amazing. We're starting to see the audience really look at the videos, and the views are going through the roof. So clearly we're touching on something that people are enjoying.
Somebody's digging it somewhere.
And then the other thing, guys, these wristbands, these little handouts, these Taylor Swifty friendship bracelets, whatever they are.
I don't have mine on today, but I love it.
Yeah, I want to thank those who have been approaching us and handing those out. That's really awesome. So thank you guys so much. So when you see us wearing these, we're just saying thank you, as we can. That's all we know to do. So thank you guys again for the support. This has just been amazing.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it.
Also, today.
What do we got? So yesterday, so I don't know when you're watching this or when you're listening, but yesterday was the Dia de los Muertos game. See how I said that? I rolled them.
So good. Fantastic.
So we got some chips. Where do these chips and salsa come from?
So today, our friends with Homemade, James Sewer, he makes these amazing chips and salsa. So he home makes all of this. These are just 3 samples that we brought in today that he supplied us with. I think we should try it. I think we have to try it. So we've got a spicy guac. We've got a pureed sort of situation in the middle, and then there's a verde on the other side.
All right, I'm going in. I've never tried these.
All right. So what is amazing about these is you can. So I put these on different things. So like the guac is amazing.
You go first, man. You go.
Yeah. All right.
You be
get in there.
The crash test, the salsa test dummy.
So the guac is really good on like fish tacos. That is the pureed, fresh ingredients. What do you think, Tim?
It tastes fresh. That's for sure.
It's really good, huh?
You can tell it's brand new.
Yeah. And then this little bad boy has some roasted garlic and other types of flavors.
There's a lot going on in there.
A lot of flavor.
Yeah, try the guac. It's got kind of a kick. And then there's also a spicy version, and he makes. So according to James, there's like 16 different salsas that he actually makes. 8 overall that he has at the ready. He says the other ones are very labor intensive.
You
But
ever go to Ensenada? You ever been there?
Yes.
There's this one taco. It's like a cart out on the side of the road, whatever. It's not even a place. It's like a cart. That tastes just like that.
There you go.
It is. That is so good.
It's fire.
You guys just talk amongst yourself for that. I'm just gonna
Yeah, go ahead. So James Sewer, we thank you so much. Wow. Homemade. Also, James is in the real estate game, and so that's how I know him. But his food, his chips and salsa are amazing. You can catch him also on Fridays. He has a pop-up tent out there at Northwest when they do the pop-ups and the
right there at, what is that?
Washington and
Miles or Fred Waring?
Fred Waring.
Fred Waring.
So also we'll have the display up. You can get his QR code and get more information. So James, thank you so much for the chips and salsa.
And just don't mind me if I just lean over from time to time and grab it.
Yeah, get after it.
All right, so now we got, who the hell is Tim O'Brien?
Yeah, Tim.
Nobody would know that name just by the name, but you'll definitely know the voice.
Yeah.
Give us the voice.
This is it, man. I don't change it. I yell. I'm much louder, but I try to. It comes across. The fans know when you're doing something. You know, when you're being somebody you're not. So.
I was thinking about today you coming in.
Yeah.
What do you do for the Firebirds, number one? I mean, we know, but just for everybody out there that may not and who are listening. And then what's your official title?
So I'm the in-game arena host. So I'm the one that doing
So
all
it's
the
not hype man. That's
not
the
hype man, which is
official
cool.
title.
I would take
That's
that.
what I call you. I call you
Yeah.
Tim the hype man.
Yeah.
My wife's like, who's coming in? I'm like, Tim, the hype man. The hype man. What's the hype? You know the hype man.
Yeah.
In-house
in-game arena host.
in-game arena host.
Yes. So I'm the one that does all the games and facilitates the games on the ice and the trivia and the stands. Firebird fans scream, make some noise. That's me.
You see you're all mellow when you say it now.
There's
but
a tagline.
Yeah.
I've never seen that job posting on Indeed. So how does someone get that job?
Yeah, so I've done it in the past. I'm born and raised in New Jersey. Through my journeys, I worked at Madison Square Garden for 6 years. Did this with the Rangers and the Knicks.
No way.
Yeah,
Really?
I was a producer for MSG also, and then started kind of working my way in front of
So
the
you're
camera.
big time.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, for that arena, yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
And then when I moved out here for my full-time gig, I saw that it was posted, and I just reached out.
Wait, go back to Madison. How do you get the job in Madison Square Garden?
So, no different than the promo crew with the Firebirds. There was something there called the Blue Crew.
The Blue Crew?
Yeah, I was out of school, fresh out of school, went to, appreciate that, went and just applied, said, hey, this would be cool. I mean, I'm a huge Ranger fan.
How old were you when you did that?
I started at 25. Did that for 6 years.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to do a little in-game adjustment.
I love
Does that sound better there? Are we good?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So started at 25, part of the Blue Crew, throwing T-shirts, hyping up the crowd.
Okay.
And, slowly, I've always wanted to be on air, whether it was TV, radio, whatever the case may have been, whatever came first.
How old were you when you knew that that's what you wanted to do?
Oh, shoot, 10 years old. Always wanted to be in sports broadcasting of
Who was your influence?
Big Joe Buck guy. I know he's not the popular opinion for some, but
Yeah, he's watchable.
Scott Van Pelt, Stuart Scotts of the world.
SVP.
Scott.
Dan Patrick,
Damn.
Sports Center growing up.
God, you're
watching those
talking my
guys,
language right now.
So there was always the goal. So I got my foot in the door at Madison Square Garden. Showed interest in grabbing the mic, that I wanted to somewhat be a part of that some way, somehow. So I started hosting there. Whenever the teams were on the road, they would hold big viewing parties in the city. Started hosting that, and that started building up.
Because nobody else wanted to do it. They're like, yeah, whatever.
I just I asked. It was just having the initiative to approach them. And
You asked, and then you created a job.
it was somewhat there, but again, you can't be in multiple places at once. You need some sort of backups. And
Wow.
so I was second, third string at
Did
times.
you have to audition to do that kind of work?
You would think, right? And I know normally, yes, but that situation, no, I didn't. I just got super lucky. And
No kidding.
Yeah, but Madison Square Garden's not a very big arena. It's like
right.
not that many people know about it.
Yeah. So it was.
That's crazy.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous, right? Even 6 years into it, you get the pre-game jitters going into it. But
and the Rangers, they fill the place,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Even and I'd say this now, the New York City is a basketball city. So my first year working at the Garden, the Knicks their franchise were 17-65, sold out every night. Didn't matter.
Really?
New York Knicks fans are the most passionate fan base.
So were you doing that when like Patrick Ewing was playing?
No, it was 2000. Let me think here. 2013 to 2018. So 6 seasons in that time frame.
I'm trying to think.
So the Knicks were not very good. It was Derek Fisher they hired his first year. He was one and done. Then David Fizdale, he was 2 and done.
So you had
Carmelo Anthony.
Thank you.
Towards the end of his run.
So you had a lot of that. There was people kind of passing through, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and then the first year with the Rangers, they went to the Stanley Cup Finals against the Kings.
That was all you, dude. It's all you.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
It was all you.
First year with the Firebirds, Finals.
Yep.
You know?
So maybe you're the guy.
Nah, I don't know. Well, they both lost though, so I don't know that.
But
Well,
did they?
but we
I don't
got
want
there.
that.
But we
You know
got
what?
there.
We can get into that later, but while we may not have scored the winning goal, I don't think we lost anything.
No.
Yeah.
And it's something I've brought up to people around the arena and my full-time gig. The way the fans didn't move. They cheered for that team as if they had won the finals. That's something I will never forget for the rest of my life. A sold-out arena standing on their feet cheering for the Firebirds.
After it was over.
After the other teams lifting the trophy. And
It's
it was
true.
like...
Well, and the chance.
Yeah. It was just unbelievable. It was something we'll have forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
And yeah, definitely. Absolutely. So, Madison Square Garden, you're chucking T-shirts. Next thing you know, you're hosting events.
Yeah.
How does that translate to you now doing what you do here?
So there's a lot of, and not to take away from New York, right? Great, passionate fan bases, much more corporate. A lot of whining and dining and, corporate business goes on in the
Sure.
arena.
What's this business?
This here was something I've never experienced. I've been in TV now 6 years. Did this, 6 years in New York, 2 years here now with the Firebirds. This was the highlight of my career. It was the the coolest thing I'd ever been a part of last year. Watching this fan base grow.
Oh yeah.
And being what it is today.
How long before December 18th were you brought on, and what did you do to prepare? 'Cause I'm just gonna tell you, from minute one, you were dialed in.
Yeah.
So
I think
how did that happen?
I would say around August, maybe. I saw the job was posted. So I just reached out to the Firebirds at the time, who was running event presentation. I found her email on LinkedIn. I said, I don't know that I'll be able to do every game or do both because of my job with NBC at night. And I said, but I'd be more than happy to help, maybe do weekends, whatever the case may be. Here's what I have done in the past. Here's some clips of me in the past. Take a look. They emailed me later that week and was like, yeah,
you're the
you
guy.
want to do it?
You're the guy.
Like, let me just make sure I can make it work schedule-wise. And they had, believe they had one other guy from L.A., but driving down here from L.A. for every home game would get a little crazy.
A little bit, yeah.
And it all worked out.
Because you were already here, right?
So how long have
here.
you been here?
I got to the desert April of 22.
Okay.
So I was here for about 6 months before I,
And
got into it.
So what brought you here initially?
So I'm a news anchor with NBC Palm Springs here.
What do you do for them?
Evening news anchor.
Just okay.
Yeah, and then Monday through Friday evenings, and then do some sports with them
Awesome.
for high school football, and then Sunday night football for the NFL. So
we can catch you on TV
yeah.
and in the arena.
Yes.
You're everywhere.
Yeah. It's part of the deal. So when I'm in the arena for a game, I have to do a live shot during our 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. on NBC from the arena.
I never even.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
You've walked by when we.
Yeah.
were
Oh
doing some
yeah.
live shots.
Oh heck yeah.
So
yep.
and then I run back to the studio for the 11 p.m. and break down
On
the
game
Firebirds.
nights?
Game nights. Yeah.
So you
Brutal.
run. Wait a minute. You run. So you do the game, and then you're running back to studio.
Yeah. Yep. Right.
And
on.
then-
How do you have a voice left to do the news after?
One time last year during the playoffs, I think that I've got a little raspy, but I've been fortunate.
How'd you
Some remedies,
get
some tea and honey.
into the TV gig? How'd you get into that broadcasting? Did you go to college and get into communications?
So
or?
no, college, wanted to be a teacher. Took a totally different route. I went through an accelerated program for broadcasting, not a accredited school, but at that point it's just talent and hopefully you get lucky. Someone sees you're real.
That's a
and
big
you're-
part of it, right?
Yeah,
is the luck.
Yeah. So I was what I do here for the Firebirds. I also did for a minor league baseball team during the summers because at the Garden it's seasonal, right? Football or basketball and hockey are October to April, and then summers you were off. So I would jump ship. I'm from the Jersey Shore originally, so there was a minor league baseball team there I worked for in the summer. Compiled a bunch of clips together, threw it up on LinkedIn, and then I was in West Texas, a town called San Angelo. Started in 2019, and the news director there saw my tape, said, "Hey, would you, be interested? We have an anchor opening."
In 2019.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. You seem comfortable on TV, on camera. Would you be want to come out here? I don't know. I'm from Jersey, worked in New York City.
From Jersey to San Angelo, Texas.
Yeah, do I want to go out in the middle of nowhere? I don't know, But I knew I needed my start on TV. It wasn't happening in New York, right? You're on the screen in the
that's
arena.
a tough mark.
New York is
Yeah.
where you go back to.
Yes,
for
when
that,
you're
yeah.
45, 50, and you ride your career out there.
Don't
so.
say that like it's old.
No, I'm 35, so I'm kind
You got to be careful.
Just
creeping
saying.
there.
You got to be
Just saying.
careful.
Yeah, so it all worked out. I did 3.5 years in Texas as a news anchor and did some sports there, and then got the job out here in Palm Springs.
Had you ever been out in this area?
No, never. And it was when we first initially got talking, there were still some COVID restrictions, so I couldn't come out here and visit. I was FaceTiming in the studio. The news director at the time would FaceTime the area when he was driving. I took a total chance coming out here. And I drove from Texas just with everything I had, threw it in a car, and I knew I made the right decision when I rolled in and just saw palm trees and not a cloud in the sky. I was like, this is pretty
It's
beautiful,
vacation
man.
land, right?
Yeah.
What time of year was this?
This was April of 2022.
April.
Oh,
Yep.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
A month later, you're like, what have I done?
Yeah. Well, I tell
But
people
April's good.
120 degrees is better than 20 degrees. I grew up in the cold and the snow.
Right,
and
yeah.
I
the
agree.
summer.
Well, that's what I tell people too, because I'm from Washington State.
Yeah.
And it's 9 months of gray and wet.
Yep.
I'd rather battle 3 to 4 months of the heat here and then have 9 months of just some amazing, weather. Yeah.
This is perfect out here.
Right.
today,
Oh,
right this
it's-
time. of
it's
year.
As
silly.
a very good friend of mine, a Jersey guy, told me, you don't shovel sunshine.
No,
Yeah.
sir.
Well, look at
Yeah.
you guys. You're rocking shorts. You got the tees,
Yep.
and it's what, November?
Yeah.
And it's not
November.
really going to change a whole heck of a lot. I mean, that's why we're here,
Yeah.
boys.
can't beat it.
Come on now.
Seriously. So, all right. So I want to dive in a little
Yeah.
bit because there's so much that goes on behind what we think we see.
Yeah.
What is a day? What's a game day like for you from beginning to end?
Sure. So we have our production meeting at usually 5 o'clock for a 7 o'clock start. It's always 2 hours before the game starts. We have our list of what we need to hit, sponsorships, reads. I think you guys have had Jason on here, right? Jason
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yeah.
the PA announcer.
Yep.
So he plays a huge role in what we do as well.
He
PA
also said the dinner's good.
Yeah, oh, we get spoiled. Yeah. You know what? And if anybody at Madison Square Garden watches this, which they will because I will share it.
I love the
the
plug.
kitchen at Acrisure Arena, the food is top notch.
I've heard.
We get served better.
Yeah,
than,
word on the street. Well, Ed,
Yeah.
he's the
He says, was it
off
chicken
ice
parmesan is
official.
the best in the
Yes.
world or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he says their team dinners too. Same thing.
It's
they get together
unbelievable.
and
Yeah.
and the churros, whenever they bring the churros,
Churros?
out.
okay.
I don't know nothing about no churros.
Hold on. That's the first time I've heard about that.
The dessert is out of this world.
What the heck? I need to get a job.
I know.
out
We might have to
we gotta
might
get
have to
on,
a
dude.
job.
Hey, you guys are working media now, technically, so maybe.
Oh, well, we won't get into that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
We
We're
are
on.
not. We are just a couple of fans.
Yep.
talking
All right.
about-
Yep.
All right. So
Yeah.
you got the production meeting.
Yep. We go
and
over
you
from-
hit your things.
From top to bottom, what needs to be done. So there's 3 timeouts if you notice in a period.
Right.
Under 14, under 10, and under 6.
Yes.
First whistle, unless it's an icing or the other team's on the power play. Because you don't want to take the momentum away.
Right.
You can't go to commercial during a power play. So we know where we need to be at certain points. We go over, I'm telling you, to the exact second the shows are timed out.
You know where you're going to be
Yep.
when those clocks are ticking, and
Yep.
you're like, we need to be here.
Yep. Yep.
Boom, boom, boom.
Because you're like I don't know if you've ever seen like Siegfried and Roy in Vegas where they just pop up and all. That's
Yeah.
how old. That's how old
So
I am, right?
It feels that way at
But
times.
this cat just pops up like
Yeah.
there's trap doors and stuff.
Yeah, all
all
of a
over the
sudden,
arena.
boom.
Yeah.
So if you notice last game, the chuck-a-puck was during the second intermission.
Yes,
And
not
then
at the end of the game.
I had to do the villain. Yeah, not during the end of the game.
Yep.
Because it was harder to get people out of the arena with that extra chuck-a-puck. With all that stuff going
Yeah.
on, it's easier to do it while the people are still within the arena.
Yes.
RJ, on the other hand, with the Zamboni, he has a certain time he has to be on and off the ice. So if those pucks aren't cleaned up by the time he needs to come out.
So
The
there's
ice
a lot
crews
of that
working
going
hard
on.
to clear
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things.
Yeah.
So, but if you noticed, the last game we had chuck-a-puck, and then I had the villain. They had to guess the villain on the screen. So I had to get from the ice up to the far deck.
So are you running? Is there a
Sprint.
magic
Full sprint.
elevator?
No,
There's-
I can't use
But you don't seem out of breath. You never seem out of breath.
I just, I guess, hold it in until I get off.
Mm.
So, true story. Madison Square Garden is where I learned this. Never trust an elevator.
Always take the stairs,
Always
right?
take the stairs.
Smart.
So
Were you stuck in an elevator?
Yep. It
Tell me,
happens.
tell me the story.
It's just certain floors. When you're an elevator worker, you can skip floors if you have to get from point A to point B. So Madison Square Garden, the arena and the ice are on the 5th floor. People don't realize. and down in the basement, we walked in down the tunnel. We had to get up while somebody in the suites needed to get there first. They're more important. So we rode from all the way up to 12 and back to 11, 10. And I needed to be at 5. I'm sweating. So never trust the elevator.
So
Just
you're
run.
35, right?
Yes.
When you hit 40, there's another one. You never trust a fart. Just saying.
All right.
Just, I'm helping.
I like how you
keep.
keep it real,
I'm
Dave.
helping the kid out.
I appreciate you. I
Helping him out
appreciate you.
'cause, you know, no one taught me that lesson. I had to learn the hard way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that.
All right. So you're triple stepping it up and down and going all around.
Yep.
And have you ever missed a cue?
No. Knock on
Knock
wood.
on-
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
And we get close. You know, there are times where timeouts are back to back, right? If the under 10 doesn't happen until 7:20 on the clock, and that next one comes at 5:58, it's tight. But communication's key, right? It's communications business.
Now, before you start the evening at 5
Yep.
in the production meeting, do you know like who the season ticket member is going to be? Who's the contest? Like, how does all that happen?
Sales reps, guest services, they take care of selecting season ticket members of the game. Promo crew will take care of contestants for the game, Zamboni riders. A lot of that, the formalities are done, right? Season ticket member, season ticket upgrade, those are picked. But we pick in the promo crew who will be a part of the contest or Zamboni's day of.
Yeah, you're pulling them right out of the crowd
It's
almost
as
as they're
simple-
walking by.
Yep, it's as simple as, hey, you want to be a part of this game the next intermission. Come on. You just
You
grab
ever
them.
had a guy not be able to read dad jokes because he didn't have his glasses on?
It happened once, but we helped him out. He came prepared. The
No,
guy.
he did. This guy's got his own
Yep,
dad joke.
yep.
He didn't even need to write them for him.
I'm
This
just
guy-
saying. Listen, I
this
like
guy will put you in
if we're gonna start doing this,
Yeah.
okay, calling some people out. But that's fair. I mean, I guess I should because I was up there and I had a moment. But
In your defense, though, you should have been prepped with what you
and
were
don't
doing.
hold it.
Yeah.
Don't hold
So-
that against anybody,
Yeah.
please. By all means, it's fine. It's totally fine. And actually, it was a great time. And that experience was fun because I'm not afraid to be out there. Like
Right.
that doesn't scare me.
Right.
Obviously. But
you look good doing it though. Like
thank you.
own
Well, I
that.
think that's all that
Yeah.
really mattered at the end of
Yeah.
the day, as long as we're looking good while we're out there.
Yeah.
But I think, that's a different part of it. I see people get up there and you have to then, like what you did with me is, you dive in and you just have to be really
You
quick.
you didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, you didn't miss a beat. And so that's part of the gig, right?
Oh, yeah. We have a script, but if you notice, I don't hold papers or cue card. The only
Not at
time
all.
I do is when there was a read that the sponsor wants their slogan in a certain way.
Sure.
And it's, you know what, rather than take my chance and screw that up, let me just read off of it
Yeah.
and roll with it. But it's off the cuff. Ad lib is everything.
Right.
My script might not say how you're going to react, so I need to be ready for your reaction.
That's right.
More so than what any piece of paper says.
And every single person it's going to be a different thing. Like you never get to know.
Nope.
Like that's
No.
So like a performer though, like I was thinking about this the other, actually just last night, during the game when you have people on, how do you stay in the zone, to keep that energy going when maybe you're not. So like during warm-ups, I mean, the arena is not completely full. There ain't a ton of people, and yet you're there still giving your energy, giving your all, trying to get whoever's there fired up.
To keep my energy in simpler terms is this crowd spoils the hell out of us. The way that the crowd bought into this hockey team and this arena, and I truly say anybody can do what I do because it's you.
Well, you got
say
a lot to do with it,
they're like,
right?
Right, all you got to do.
You had a
speak.
lot to do with it.
I appreciate
true.
that. I do.
Yeah.
I take a lot of pride in it. And be honest with you, the second game of the season, where they lost 1-0.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't do a good job. I felt that the arena, I have a responsibility to wake the place up. I
Okay.
drove home that night. It bothered me the next morning. I was like, God, damn, I
Really?
screwed up. Yeah, I just didn't feel for the first time. Last year it was all new, right? And then the playoffs hit. And I was like, hell yeah, this is great.
Well,
And then-
after that game, we had one of the players on. He's like, the hype man just didn't do his job. And that's
I got a lot of text messages. I'm glad you
we
brought it
I
up
saw
in
the
show.
comments on the Facebook page, the group. Somebody said something about the DJ. Somebody said something about
Oh,
the
so you're paying
host.
attention to those group chats?
I don't normally.
But
Somebody screenshot it and sent it to me.
Really?
Well, damn.
You got
All right.
called out?
I got called out, yeah.
For what? No, it's
Somebody,
thought it was
I guess
fine.
they think I have something to do with the music as well.
Oh.
And I don't. I have
Yeah.
absolutely.
there was some musical issues
Yeah.
early on. It seems to have worked itself out.
Yeah, so another we're all about being honest here and shooting it, right?
Yeah.
The DJ right before the season started decided not to come back. So they're
That's why it sounds
figuring
different.
out.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think I can disclose
We
that.
love that guy. That guy was great.
Yeah.
What was it? I forgot his name.
Aaron Neal.
Aaron Neal, yeah.
He was great.
He was awesome.
So I know that they're rotating some people out and are trying to get the right fit. But
Okay.
The guy last night, I think he
did good.
He was on point.
Yeah.
He did good. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, as long as we get there's some checkpoints that we have to hit along the way during the game, and of course, one of them being
Country Road.
Country Road. I mean, if we're not hitting
they
that
start it. They got to start it so that the chorus is going to continue after the
puck drops, so
Yes.
that way the
Yeah.
entire arena is
They were
singing
about
it
8
without-
seconds off cue last
And
night.
that's a perfect example
Yeah.
of knowing the show, right? To
Yeah.
a second, you've
Yeah.
got to time and get this. And there'll be some growing pains with some of the new directors, but it's going to get back on track. I
well,
promise.
like last year, that happened too because I think I was talking when we had Kyle Serra on. And we had this great conversation around how we watch the game. We're not just watching hockey, but it's the production, it's the things that are going on, and we're kind of critiquing, not judging, but just paying attention. And we saw that production start to elevate, and everything just seemed to gel and just kept, hitting that crescendo as the season got into the playoffs. So it did. I mean, there's no judgments around what's going on out there. It's. I think we just got so spoiled to the culture of what we created last season, and it's. There's gonna be little nuances that are different, but like you said, you start working through those things, and then pretty soon we're gonna have that rhythm. And
let's get it out of the way now.
Yeah.
Just like the team's going to change personnel from time to time, the arena's going to change, so we just got to flow with it.
And I think it's important to note, and I'm not saying this because we are with the Firebirds, and that's what this is all about. It is a professional production within a minor league.
Correct.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the organization as minor league. Gina Rotolo, who is the senior vice president of marketing, and do you know who Gina is?
No.
If you see her, you know exactly who she is. She started the entire Vegas Knights production their first year.
You're
She
kidding.
built that thing up, and she has a professional NHL mindset. She has brought that program
You can
and
tell.
show to this
It's
arena.
definitely.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You-
And that's why the bar
Elevated.
has has been set so high. And Kyle Serra, who you just mentioned, I mean, there are some people in positions at this arena that are professional, next level of worked at the top of the top.
Oh, it's
Dude, that
amazing.
guy busts his ass.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
He is everywhere all the time.
We had him.
somehow.
Yeah. If you haven't watched the show or you haven't seen that episode, guys, watch it because we talk about it a lot. How it's AHL. It's supposed to be the farm team. It's supposed to be the. It's not.
They've
We
never thought
talk
of it like
about
that.
the difference between the pros and us is literally minute. It because of what the arena brought. Acrisure is one of the best facilities in
State of the art in terms of what we got here.
And MSG is like 400 years old, so it's
They've done it a lot.
probably
been around.
nothing. But I'm sure that the facility is probably nowhere near as nice and modern. And
You can eat off the floors at Acrisure Arena. So
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how they
I
have.
think I did one time. But dropped a pretzel. Just 5-second rule. I had to.
I love it.
But they've done an unbelievable job of making sure it's a pro setting. You go. The worst crowd last year was maybe 5,000 people.
Yep.
That's a lot of people for 36 out of 36 home games in most other teams.
It's impressive.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, we were watching the away games. I don't like to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Do you
I'm just
watch
saying.
the away games?
We were
When I can. Yeah. It's hard.
we were hanging out, and I'm the worst at this, but I do because I can't help it. It's my mind's eye.
There's a picture on Facebook. We're pacing in front of my TV.
Yeah, we're
watching
literally
this game.
standing there.
Yeah.
Just but I'm not just watching the game, but I'm comparing what we've got to other people's the hype guys. Okay, I'm sorry, you're the hype guy.
That's
at this
great.
point.
No, it's fine by me.
Yeah,
I love that.
So the hype guys, I'm watching what they're doing. I'm looking at the attendance. I'm trying to see and compare, and I'm like, I feel bad for the other guys because I'm looking at kind of what they have to do to get them excited, and I feel like what we're bringing and what you're bringing and the production and all of that is at such a high level.
But it's got to be harder for them because there's like nobody in their crowds.
That's what I'm saying. That's got to be
Nobody-
hard.
I look. I have not. The only other arena that I've been to was in Ontario, and they put on a pretty good show. Like the staff there at the Toyota Center is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's older, but it's a great facility. So and they had plenty of people. That's fine. But like, for example, watching Tucson on TV or Iowa Wild on TV.
Yeah.
Iowa got a pretty good crowd because there's probably nothing else going on in town. But watching like games in Tucson, there's like nobody there.
Yeah.
Friday nights.
Yeah, what's this poor hype guy
We
supposed
have
to do?
Wednesday nights, and we're almost sold out.
Yeah.
And again, it's maybe we're the new shiny object on the block, and maybe that'll change 10 years from now. But again, I mean, I don't know how those guys Cole Lindy talked about it being a snooze fest sometimes.
Yeah, I
when
can imagine.
when he's going, and so I'm thinking, well, the hype guys and the production folks. I mean, how
You
boy,
can
to
hear
bring
the
them.
coaches and the players yelling at each other off
No,
the bench.
exactly.
You
Yes.
know,
Right.
it's-
Yes.
Versus where we're at, and we can't hear it.
Can't even hear myself think half the time.
Yeah.
Which is cool because I'm not really thinking ever, so it's fine. But
And that gives you the energy too, right? Like,
you have to feed off that.
Yeah.
And I said it to you guys earlier. This has been the highlight of my career. The energy in that arena. There's never been a moment where I'm like, damn it, I got a game tonight or this.
Really?
No, man. It's not work. It's so much fun. It's the
that's so
fans,
cool.
and I'm not saying this because we're here. It's the best fans in the league. There's no hands down. It's not
Hands
even
down,
close.
right?
Not even close.
Hands
to
down.
I
that.
think we'd agree with you.
Yeah.
I just lost my train of thought.
that's okay. Because everybody who sat in that chair so far has echoed everything that you're saying, in the sense of they've been around a while. And also the other thing is, the thing that you're doing is the thing that you've been wanting to do since you were younger.
Yeah.
Everybody that sat in that chair so far,
Yeah.
they said at an early age, this is what I wanted to do.
Yep.
And it's so fun to sit here. We're so fortunate because, again, we're two guys out of 10,000 that get to have this conversation with you guys, and that's the reason for this show, is to peel that curtain back. And it's so neat to sit here, and every single person, and that's why we love doing it, is because we get to hear that from you guys. And we don't know, that's why we're doing the show, but everybody's like, since I was 8, since I was 10, since I was 12, 14.
The players since I was 2.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to accomplish. I mean, even Jason. I mean, I think that there was a point where he said, "Yeah, I think that this is just what I wanted to do. I want to be an announcer." And did you know that he was a professional swing dancer?
Only reason I did is he did bring that up not too long ago. But otherwise, no, you would never know, right?
I like bringing it up every time I can, just because
Yep.
it's a fun fact. But it really is neat to know, like, you get to live your best life right now.
And in a pretty awesome area. huh?
No, so we sat with Evan Pivnik, and I'll just tell you, the audio failed. So we couldn't air the episode.
And you know how technical difficulties go. You've been in the business.
One of the things he told us was that when he was about 8, he would play the NHL on like his Nintendo, and set it to whatever setting and call the games. And I mean, so everyone that sat there has been that driven. But they've also all said that this is a great stepping stone, but to the NHL is where they want to go. Is that true for you too? I mean, you've already been there, but
I'll get to that in a second. Evan, when Pivnik is watching this, enjoy him now because he will be in the NHL.
I agree.
way
We
he
talked
lasts.
about that.
He
we were talking
is-
about that the other night.
So good.
It's unbelievable. He
Stupid
could be
good.
there now. That's
So
how good he
He's
is.
stupid
The
good.
guy, and no disrespect, I mean, he's brand new, that was calling the Tucson game, and
Right.
Evan, I think, was at a wedding, so we didn't get
Yes.
to
Yeah.
dual audio.
Yep.
This guy sounded like he was reading a book and trying to call the game and talking to a friend on the phone at the same time. Like, it was terrible.
And he was not happy when the Firebirds scored, right?
And he was not.
and a goal.
Oh, you could hear it.
But
yeah.
the following game, we're at my house. We're watching on my TV. Evan,
He changes the
dude,
game, man.
and we were both like, there's no way.
He's so
Maybe
good.
we keep him the rest
Yeah.
of the season
Right.
if we're lucky.
Right. Yeah.
But that guy's not only, and I'm calling it here and now. It's November 2nd, 2023. I'm calling it right now.
November 1st.
The 1st. It's the 1st still?
Yes, sir.
It's November 1st, 2023. That guy is not only going to the NHL, but if there is a Hall of Fame for game callers, he's going.
He's
for sure.
Yeah,
going.
he's found his rhythm. He's got the voice. You know, he knows all players' names. He can call it so fast.
And he calls it differently. He doesn't keep saying the same thing
you're right.
to describe the same thing. That guy's got a thesaurus brain. Like one time I had to look up, what does that word mean? And it meant exactly what he said.
And the inflections that he gives during the games, because it almost represents what's happening within the game. You can hear and feel the tonalities as the game is taking place, whether we're up or down. We're kind of in that. I was watching YouTube today and watching the highlights. Because I do that. I'm a nerd. I'll go back and Firebirds. They'll put that out there.
There was a ton to watch last
There
night.
Firebirds, go!
I really wanted
Firebirds,
one more, though,
8
to
times.
beat the
Yeah.
franchise
Heck yeah.
record.
How about Jason doing it in Spanish, 2 languages?
Yeah, kudos to
Can
him,
we-
man.
But although his Spanish is pretty awful.
Is it?
Yeah, his Spanish
I
is
told
pretty
him, you
bad,
only
yeah.
get 1 check. You don't get 2 checks for 2 languages.
He gets a
tonight,
check
man.
and a check.
He did. That couldn't have been easy. There's no way. And he tried. There was one time during the game you could hear him stumble, and he kind of was trying to not laugh, but he knew where he was at in it. But he did a good job.
So it was 1 minute, and it was thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that's a thing that we do?
No, I
Oh,
didn't.
no. Yeah, so that's the thing that it's now starting to take over the whole arena. When he says 1 minute remaining, we all say thank you.
Right.
So last night, though, he did it in Spanish. And without any prompting, everyone in our section goes, gracias.
That's incredible.
It was awesome. Yeah, we
That's
started
awesome.
We started doing that last year.
Okay.
He had kind of requested it, sort of, and I know our section 106.
106.
Another shout out. We kind of took hold of that, and then I know others did as well. And now when you hear it, like if you're anywhere near, especially that section back there, kind of where we're at, you can hear a lot of people catch on to it. It's starting to get louder
it's
and
starting
louder.
to grow,
So fan base out
It'll be a
there,
thing.
when
Okay.
you hear him announce 1
1
minute,
minute.
1 minute remaining in this period, then you yell thank you.
We got to flash a thank you graphic.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
we
That'd
would
be great.
love
Yeah.
to do
be
that.
cool.
Yeah. And I think he heard it when he did it in Spanish, and then we did it back to him. Gracias.
Yeah.
I think he heard it.
He
and
had
he
to have.
smiled. He was smiling back there. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
That's so
and,
good.
we'll just one more thing about that, about both Jason and Evan, because they've both been here, and we're probably going to end up saying the same thing about you.
Yeah.
Just the nicest,
Thank you.
most regular
Heck yeah.
guys.
Heck yeah.
There's never been. I'm trying to think just all the time, and I deal with Evan for the NBC side because I have to put in requests through him if I want to interview a player, and just he's awesome. He's so
Note to
easy.
self.
He's so easy to deal with. He's so
He is.
accommodating.
He is.
Just super down to earth, and
Yeah.
he doesn't need to be that way, right? With his position and his stress and everything that's on his
And he
shoulders.
does a ton of stuff, and he
Yeah.
brings it on because he wants to do it.
Yeah,
not
and
because he
that's,
has to.
And that's the other thing. And with the minors, as a broadcast director, you have a ton of responsibilities, way more than just calling
Yeah,
the
you guys
game
wear
is the easy
a lot
part
of
for
different
him.
hats. That's the other thing we learned is everybody's
yeah.
doing like 7 different jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, is there anything else that you're doing behind the scenes that we should be aware of? I mean, the news thing was pretty cool when I found that.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't really know about that until I was channel surfing one
Really?
day,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey, dude's on TV.
Yeah.
Like, there's
No,
Tim.
just I do what I do at the arena and run around like a chicken without a head for the TV station. And
So so at my house, it's just because my mother-in-law lives with us. She retired years ago, lives with us, and she's a KESQ girl now. So I don't, and I the news just irritates me anyway. So I don't like.
Right.
So I didn't know, but now we're gonna have to flip down to NBC to watch you at night.
Go back and forth.
Yeah.
I always found that to be very interesting, especially when you're being a broadcaster and things like that. I always kind of felt like that would be a fun job. And what's hilarious, I love having you on today, and my kids did too, and my wife did too, because they said you should be a motivational speaker or I should be a hype man.
yeah.
Because like you, we have shared energy around, and then we love being out in front. It doesn't bother you, right?
Yeah.
Clearly there's no filter around that.
Yeah.
So I was so excited to have you in the chair because I was going to ask the question, and I think we covered it, but like how you just get into that stuff, and I think it takes a different breed.
It is a position. I think you either have it or you don't. Right. It's not something you can. No resume.
You can't fake it.
No, and no resume will ever say that, show you that. You have to just go out and do it, and either you're born with it or you're not. And it's not a job, but you go on Indeed and look for candidates.
All right.
and
So then let's get to the bad news.
yeah.
Evan's going. Jason's going.
Yeah.
Hopefully all of our players end up going to
Right.
to the NHL because that's what we want for them and our coaching staff. Like we want that for all of
Sure.
you. You?
Yeah, so
What is your goal?
TV side of things, right, is my to end up on MLB or NHL Network to host one of the shows. That is my end goal.
Is like ESPN?
Yeah, sure, would be a perfect situation.
Because you talked about a lot of those guys.
Yep.
I mean, I grew up the same way like you, watching a lot of. Everybody did
Yeah.
ESPN.
Yep.
You know, Dan Patrick. And, you know,
whether it's national network or a Root Sports in Seattle, just
There you
being
go.
a host or a reporter on the sideline.
That's
between
awesome.
The glass, you know, something in that capacity. So for as long as I'm here with NBC, I hope the Firebirds keep me. You
Good.
know?
Yeah,
I
me
can't
too.
imagine it
Me
unless
too.
you got
Yeah, it'd be
that.
weird
But
if you were not.
you know, my TV contract is up in April coming up. So
Well, let's get it signed. Let's
yeah,
get it inked.
right?
Let's
So
go. Let's know.
That's
You
on
stay
them.
put.
So at least, you know, this season
Mm-hmm.
I'll be here and
Well, this is a small. What do I know? But this seems like this is a small enough market that if you're good,
Yeah.
they're gonna do what it takes to keep you.
right.
You know, unless you're moving onward and upward.
Yeah, so this area is people want to come here because of how close you are to the big cities.
Yeah.
Right, the LAs, the San Diegos, Phoenix, Vegas, like they're so close they
Right.
can just poach you in. A lot of people come out here, right? This is a vacation spot, so a lot of people get their eyes on them because of coming out here for vacation. They turn the TV on, not bad, you know. So it's happened in the past, but people think so. There's about 300 TV markets in the country. I think Palm Springs is like 140, so it's a little lower,
It's right in the middle.
but
like,
it
you know.
triples in the winter. This becomes a top
Yeah.
30, 40 market because of the amount of people that are here
That's true.
for the
And
snowbirds.
from all over.
From all over.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's really a desired spot. You can't look at market size here because it fluctuates so much throughout the year.
Plus, you also have a lot of people from LA, and you know they retire out here.
Sure.
And plus, they're still connected.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of the niche here that I found when I moved here. I moved here about just over 6 years ago, and learning so much connection. You know, obviously to LA and then from all over the country. People retired or they snowbirded or whatever they're doing, but there is a deep pool of people who will be watching and have connections, and if they see that talent and go, yeah, that's our guy.
Right.
He needs to be
you're
over
getting- you're
here.
getting poached.
Yeah.
Before we started recording, you told us. I think you said that you've been a hockey fan for like 25 years.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you play?
I did, yeah. So from the time I was little through high school, you know, youth and recreational, I didn't not much past that.
No juniors.
No. Baseball is my first sport.
Okay.
But I played hockey too. But
What position?
I was a winger in hockey.
Okay.
So yeah.
Baseball, what'd you do?
Second base, shortstop. Played. You know, I stopped growing, so I was, you know, the shorter guy everywhere. So you're not
You're
playing.
digging
with
them out of the
your
dirt.
size is perfect for a winger. 'Cause,
Yeah, oh yeah, you get
you
up and
know,
down the
yep.
ice, just speed, and then just hope you can stop once you
Yep.
get down there. But yeah, I've played and following it, and Ranger, obviously New York Ranger fan, and
Yeah, for
from
sure.
Jersey, not Devils, Rangers.
100%.
But yeah,
Are you a Jets guy?
so my father is a Minnesota Vikings fan, and that's what I grew up on.
Really?
I don't know why he is or how that came.
Is he
Purple
from Jersey?
People
Is he
Eaters
from
in the
Jersey or
70s.
Minnesota?
He's from Jersey, yeah. But I guess back then there was only one game on a week, and
Yeah,
Purple People Eaters,
exactly.
they got to play quite a
Wow.
bit. And so yeah, so I'm raised that way. But Yankees, Rangers, Knicks, and Vikings. So
Vikings had a rough weekend this weekend.
Yeah,
They had a rough
poor
day,
Kirk,
so
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, cousins.
yeah. bummer.
Apparently, the injury of the season is the Achilles.
yeah.
It's the Achilles heel
It's
of the
Achilles
NFL.
heel
Yeah.
of the Achilles heel. Yeah,
Had to go there.
That was good, that was
I
good.
been a football fan back home, it'd be Giants. Usually it's Giants,
The Giants.
Yankees, Jets, Mets. Those are the two.
Okay.
Okay.
How it works, because the Yankees and Giants used to share a stadium,
That's right.
and then the Jets and the Mets shared Shea Stadium. So it was
Saquon Barkley was getting me mad points in my fantasy league until he
Yeah.
hurt himself, and now he's not getting much play. So
yeah. It's interesting to
I'm
see what
absolutely
happens
gonna
there.
lose, yeah.
A 1-year deal.
Do you
they
do
didn't give him-
fantasy?
I don't. I used to, and then I don't like rooting for guys against my team. Right? Like
it is tough.
yeah,
It's frustrating a little bit.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
tough.
So I do pick'ems against the spread and
Sure,
do
okay.
pick leagues like that. But yeah,
I like that.
so
All right, so what can you tell us, if anything? Like, there's obviously on game day a lot of stuff going on, and you got your thing going on. Everybody's got their thing going on. And I'm not even sure what the question is or how to ask it, but what is the level of chaos going on behind the scenes that we don't see?
yeah, quite a bit. From a 1 to 10, maybe a 9, a 10 at times. There's things that when we do a merch hit, right, we've got to get the merch up onto the platform there where you came up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but if they're running behind at the merch stand and
Oh,
we've
boy.
got 10 seconds to run a mile,
go.
it's like there are times where things get really,
You ever
really
have to
close.
switch it up, reverse it, change it on the fly?
Yes, but you got to be careful because the director's calling the shots and the control room. Next time you're at the arena, look up. You'll see a little cutout by
Right
the bar.
above Garrison Brothers, right?
Yep, you see a little
we've
window
seen it.
in there.
Yes.
That's the control room.
Figured.
So if they punch a graphic before you make the call and it's up there, it's like, uh-oh, you know, you got to roll with it. You just got to figure it out and roll
I
with
will
it.
say
So,
the graphics this time around
looks great.
Strong.
seriously stepped up.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
look unbelievable.
That new goal graphic,
Yep.
on point.
That's
Yeah.
Kyle and
Yeah.
Becky and company, and they
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Becky. She does a great
Yeah,
job out there, too.
unbelievable. So
Hustler. Guys are always moving.
it's a place that people are in the right position. I've worked plenty of places where people are just filling the seat, and here there's some capacity of experience in every position.
Well, I think that's what we were, kind of was alluding to back. Everybody sat here.
Yeah.
It's amazing, because everybody wants to do their best.
Yeah.
Like you can feel it down to the reps who take care of all the season ticket holders. They wanna take care of everybody, even the workers. Everybody's out there smiling. They're greeting. So from top to bottom, they've done an amazing job with the hiring and the training, and then just across the board. It just it's not a farm team. It's a pro team.
They definitely act all pro, and shout out since we're shouting out Callie Jankowski, dude.
Callie.
Is that your guys' rep?
Yeah.
She's my rep, and
she's
she is
good.
just on.
Yep.
I think I sent her an email with kind of a weird question, and it wasn't 7 minutes that I got back the perfect answer.
Yeah.
Totally explained it, and there's 100, 1,000 of me. Like I don't know how many accounts she has, but
She's super responsive.
yeah, I don't know. They do a great job.
So their job's hard too to throw that. You can talk about chaos because they're running around. They've got a lot to make sure everybody's happy and keep. There's
It's a lot of personalities.
That's what I love about the people that you don't see behind the scenes, right? And I don't think it spews over into the presentation and into the show. The fan
And it
wouldn't,
shouldn't,
and
right?
it should
We're not
never
supposed to know about it.
That's when you know you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yep.
When nobody knows what's going on. Yeah, so if you want to give flowers to anybody at this point in time, you keep going, man, because it's a great time to do it.
But you don't see anybody with a lanyard cruising, man. They are always they're always on. If they got that staff lanyard,
They're
they're
moving.
on the move.
Yeah,
They're always on the move.
It's I think
And they're
last
dialed
night,
in.
Yeah.
8,000, 9,000 steps I track.
Nice.
I track what I do throughout a game. and
9,000?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was unbelievable.
And then does that count getting to the studio?
Yeah, because I got to run out to the car. and
Yeah,
then you gotta
right.
Drive.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So,
Oh,
but it's all
boy.
good. It's not work. This is unbelievable.
So the games, right? There's the trivia, the buzzbox, all this.
Yep.
I imagine, obviously, in a meeting, someone comes up with that. Do you have any say? Do you ever come and say, "I got this idea for a game," or "I got this idea for a"?
Yeah. So
thing?
I've tried to implement some of the things I've learned over
Like,
time.
which one? What's yours?
The little the scooter race where the wheelbarrow
Yep.
race. That
Yep.
was something that we used to do with the little scooters that have the handlebars.
Yep.
They don't have them here, but that was something weaving in and out of the cone. Scooter race is always a fun
Like the big
thing.
wheels?
Yeah.
Yeah,
big
exactly.
wheels?
What else have we done? That we just had a meeting last week about it too with our new director. He came from Lehigh Valley, the Flyers AHL team,
Okay.
and so he's bringing in some of his games and ideas.
Can I ask
Yeah.
to implement a game?
Yeah.
We saw it during the playoffs.
Oh no, they said no.
Listen to me.
They
Hold on,
said
Dave.
no
Don't
in a
shut me
million
down
years.
quite yet. I got the guy.
Go
He
ahead,
might
go
be
ahead.
able to get some traction with this.
Go ahead.
So there's the slingshot. And who was doing it? Was it in?
It was Iowa. Iowa did the slingshot.
They were doing the slingshot.
It looked so much fun.
And of course, I raised my hand to be the first one. I'll get an orange suit, and you can sling me across the ice. I don't care, bro. I'll sign the waiver. I'm good with that. Is there any opportunity for us to get that sucker in place?
So a lot of that goes into budget, right? You got to have the budget to buy.
I'll buy the slingshot.
And then
how much could that cost?
Insurance, right? You got to
Yeah.
sign
Yeah.
the waiver and all
I'll
that.
sign the
That-
waiver,
that
man.
comes down to our boss in event presentation.
Okay.
So that's something I could.
If we
bring up
could
the chair.
pull it off,
It
dude.
looks so much fun.
Was this at the casino you asked?
Yes.
I vaguely
Yeah.
remember.
So
this.
there was at
Okay.
the spotlight. Everybody was watching it, and the moment everybody saw it, they said, I think we asked
Everyone unanimously wanted that thing.
Yeah,
But I forget if we talked to it, like, no, we'll never get to the insurance and the thing, and I don't remember what, but Dude, if you could pull that
It was
off.
Gino was kind of running it that night, and then he came back, and I think he talked to somebody and said, "Yeah, no, I think we're going to shut that down. Liability purposes alone are just way too costly."
Dude,
But
all I know is
what a blast!
we'll chip in and pay for the slingshot.
What
It
a
can't-
blast! Yeah,
Can't cost that much.
Again, and I will absolutely raise
Yeah.
my hand first to do it. It
Just
looks
go flying
it looks
up.
so much
Yeah,
fun.
sure.
It looks so much fun.
What other stuff that we last season we kind of saw the same stuff
Yes.
over the course, but now it seems a bit different.
Yeah, you've got the memory wall. You've got
Yeah, Alaska Airlines helped
yeah,
out
that
big
was pretty
time
cool.
with that. Yeah.
There's some other things.
right?
Dude, the one last night though, that was it last night or the game before?
No, I think it was last night. The guy was on
Like,
it.
on point.
Oh,
You
he was good.
got
Yeah.
it right
He
now.
was very good. And that goes into when we have our meetings. It's like, well, the first game it didn't work out. Tonight, go pick somebody that you think would be good. What does that
How
mean?
do you know?
What does that mean? Like,
Do
you
you
just
do-
look at them and hope they know how to play the
You
memory.
kind of do a pre-test.
Like, how many fingers about? You're in. You got
Right,
it.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
No, and sometimes you don't have the time to do a test,
Well,
right? You're just pulling them and
That's what
let's go.
happened. So when I got, it was like you were saying. I remember the rep grabbed me,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Okay, be back here at this time." And then my wife, we kind of looked at the clock, and I'm like, "I think I need to go up there." She goes, "You definitely need to get up there." And so I remember kind of walking along, and she had sheer panic because she's like, "Oh, they're running. They're ahead of it. They're ahead of it. You got to go. You got to go."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
this is happening right now."
Ideally, you'd want to be 2 minutes ahead of schedule every time, right?
So do we
Just
need
doesn't
to be
work out.
That
walking
was
that
my
west
bad.
hallway to get picked? Like, how do you
Yes.
get picked?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Or
I never really go much past Buzzbox. That's pretty
Right.
much where I.
Yeah.
it's as
I
simple as
do.
just walking around the concourse
Like my-
and then
I
just
do.
get grabbed.
I see. That's how I network. I see people.
You are.
I
you,
say
you
hi.
a
I'm the man.
master
I am the
networker,
man
this
of the
guy.
people.
Yeah.
I try to just go out and say
Yeah.
hello, and that's how you and I got to say hi every once in a while.
You got to do your laps.
I
Especially,
do.
You know, yeah,
I
you
do.
have to.
All
The
right, let's start doing it.
High marks race with the Bud Light beer can and beer bottle that we did last year. That always got a huge laugh. Somebody would eat it around the board, coming around the corner, and they would go down, and that's fun.
I was gonna. Okay, great. I'm glad you brought that up
Mm.
because I watched some of those contests and I'm like, oh my god, somebody's gonna break an arm.
Yeah.
Oh my god, somebody's gonna break their neck. Like,
Right.
isn't there any fear around that? I mean, there's some stuff on there. You got kids running on the ice. I'm thinking
That's why you sign the
You
waiver.
shuffle your feet. Just
Yeah,
don't lift your
yeah.
feet up. Just
we
shuffle.
don't let corporate
Yeah.
worry.
you don't
about
worry.
that.
You just get them out there.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah, you bag them and tag them.
But it's fun. Man.
It looks amazing. I think one of the big highlights of this year so far was I don't know if they're called Pee-wees or the juniors but
Oh, that
Yeah.
was
that
so
little hockey
fun.
that was
little
one of
junior
well,
Firebirds.
my
Kids got
gosh,
out there
that
and
was the
played.
best thing
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah,
That was
I
so
hope they do
cute.
more of that. I
That
hope.
was
Yeah,
amazing.
Let's hope so.
And you got to know that's the highlight of their young lives so far.
To be on
yeah.
that stage
Yeah.
and look around.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
The clock and everybody just plays, right? Everybody just
Yep.
go get the puck and shoot.
So I'm going to switch gears if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
You got transmission,
Love it. And I know how to drive.
and you do know how to drive.
The opening night, December 18th. What was that like for you? What was that day like? We've asked everybody who's
Yeah.
worked there.
It's a standard question.
So I'm going to go back to
It's
that
right on the
because it is.
Yeah.
we
have to
uh,
ask. We don't want. We have to.
yeah, we have to.
Have to ask.
So I mean, you're coming in. The arena's being built. Had you gone into the arena beforehand to get familiar with the arena? Did you just show up that day? What was all that?
So I
for
had a
you?
chance to tour the arena with NBC. We did a story on up and coming. We did a couple August and October. We got to see the progress and walk around. I had not seen the building done when I walked in that night, December 18th.
Really?
There was no rehearsal, no dry run.
No practice. No, here's your mic. Go say these things.
Serious.
Thankfully, because I have done it, I was prepared that way. But I hadn't done it in 5 years at that point, so you still have the jitters a little
Oh,
bit.
for sure.
But that night was hell because the audio, if you remember, the
Yes,
microphone
I
kept
do
going in
remember.
and out.
The mariachi band had an issue.
Yes, for Ring of Fire.
Yes.
And my mic kept clipping.
Oh.
Every other word, it would go in and out.
Yeah.
So
I vaguely.
I remember.
in that
Although I had
moment,
been in the buzz box, so
there you go.
there's no surprise.
What's your favorite flight? Which one do you go to?
Which bar? I go to the
Buzz
Buzzbox
Box.
bar on the north
They're-
concourse.
I've had them not too long ago for
Yeah.
the first time, and
Yeah.
They take care of him.
strong.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Adult juice. It's
Yeah,
nice. But yeah, that opening night, in terms of the fan, the presentation, everything was great, right?
Yeah.
Like, holy hell, man! Like we're doing.
Did you
this here in
did you
the-
expect the way the fans showed up
No.
to be like how it was?
No, definitely not. And I think even if you had asked me at the beginning of the year what I thought, and I'd say, well, once the Snowbirds leave, what's going to happen, right?
It's true.
Nobody knows what hockey is out here, right? Even more so as you go down to the East Valley, and it's like, I don't know what they're going to do. And then that first playoff game was a low crowd, remember, against Tucson.
Because the Snowbirds had gone, but boy, it didn't take
And
much to
no,
fill that place back
I
up.
think because I like some conspiracies.
Yeah.
No offense to Ticketmaster, but I think there was a lot of people confused because it looked like seats were sold out when they were actually available.
Really?
And I think that's what happened. Don't quote me on
I'm
that.
not involved
I'm
in
still
this
looking
at
in.
all. I
I'm
have
looking
no
into
opinion
it.
on this
I'm
at all.
looking into it because
It was not like that the rest of the play.
I
Not
know.
another
I
game.
know it wasn't. I think it was just
So-
because they did something online and it looked like they were not available. So
Right.
some people said that, but
I know there were some glitches
there
going
were some
in 'cause
glitches.
they'd never done a
They'd
playoffs before,
yeah, exactly.
right?
So I think maybe that had something to do with it, but the snowbird effect could have taken
Yeah.
place because it was right around that time. Was it April?
It was
May?
April 16th.
Yeah, so that's
18th,
right around that
something
time
like
frame.
So
I mean, it could have, but then after that,
it was unbelievable. I'm from opening night to that very last game. It's just there was
more and
not
more
yeah.
and more.
It was, even just around town, right? The shirts,
Yeah.
the stickers on cars.
That's
it's-
we talk about that repeatedly. Is that it has created a family effect, and I
You can
hate
say
that
it.
because
Why do you-
because it's so cliche. It's like, oh, we're a family, but we don't fight like a family,
Right.
right?
Well-
It has. You see someone in a Firebird shirt or a sticker on a car or a hat.
Yep.
Hey, what's up? Catch a game, man. Next thing you know, you're
Go
talking
Birds.
Yep.
to a total
know,
stranger,
yeah.
right? And eventually, if you're in the same place enough times, people begin to know. Like,
Sure.
I am an attorney. I work in the courthouse here in Indio quite frequently, and among the people that I interact with the most, they know, right? I mean, the Firebirds pin on my lapel is a dead giveaway, but
They know.
now there's more stuff that we're people that I may not normally have talked with. So it's had that effect in the whole valley,
Yep.
and everybody so far who's sat in that chair, yourself included, had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the entire recipe. It's not just one ingredient, and that right there should be a massive sense of pride for you. Do you feel that?
I
do
do.
you feel it?
I do. And when I have that moment of I'm just doing my job, I do come back and reflect a minute and say, hey, you know what? I'm totally honest. I got a little choked up, tears in my eyes when they dropped that Western Conference banner.
Absolutely. Choked up.
Like that's going to be there for the rest of the time, and we were a part of that.
That's
Dude,
right.
I look like I just watched Brian's song. I'm like,
We can't control.
that's
and
an old reference. I don't know if you have seen it.
I tell people all the
Yeah.
time, I can't control what happens on the ice. None of us can.
You're right.
But I can control how you feel when you leave that arena.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And I hope that you feel a certain way that you want to come back again. So
No, you do.
If you're enjoying this episode as much as we enjoyed doing it, please remember to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to hit that subscribe button too. And remember, turn on alerts so you never miss an episode. And last but not least, take a moment to share the Firebirds Fan Zone podcast with your Firebirds family and friends and anybody who loves our birds as much as you do. As always, the Firebirds Fan Zone podcast is brought to you by Kyle Garman Realtor. Whether you're buying or selling, Kyle Garman and his team at Keller Williams have you covered. Visit him at kylegarman.kw.com. And by desertdefenselawyers.com, DUI and criminal defense throughout the Coachella Valley. Attorney David Gibbett has been working hard to keep folks out of the penalty box since 2008. Now, let's get back to it.
No, you do. I mean, I think that's again the magic
yeah.
of what the organization has done.
Yep.
They did a really good job of bringing in the right people, and they seem to be very purposeful around that. And I think we all did. I remember, they dropped that banner, and just goosebumps would kick in. And
Because we were there.
we were there.
Not just for the banner, we were there for everything that led up to that banner.
Good, bad,
dropping.
ugly.
Right. Yeah.
We saw things, some very special. The triple overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody loves that
Potsy's
one.
game back,
Potsy's
yeah.
game. We,
Yeah,
Riker. He scores. He hits that goal, finishes that triple overtime. Potts, sends us to the cup. I mean, there's just all kinds of things that take place. Joey's being Joey. We got to see. I mean, seeing what he's doing now, and like, man, that was one of our guys.
Yeah.
And then Carts.
You saw it start, right?
Yeah.
From the ground.
And I
up.
feel like we get to feel like we're a part of that
Yes,
now.
100%.
I agree.
You see Carts, you see Joey up in the bigs,
Yep.
we're like, yeah, we
You
were-
did
we were
100% had something to do with it.
We were there.
You would be a fool to not think the fans played a part in that last year. There's not another building in that league that had fans like that last year. Not even Hershey's smaller building, but it was unbelievable. Fans, there was plenty of wins that the fans pushed. You guys got the W's just as much as those players did.
I just am personally humbled to have been a part, and
Yeah.
I'm like, how many things over the course of my years had to happen for me to be in that seat, and for that moment. So I'm personally grateful for all of it.
And that's the cool part too. I think him and I, Dave, and we talk a ton. We do. We reflect a lot about
dead horse, but
we do. But the fan
there.
base and I guess we talk about it so you guys have an understanding on what everything had done with the fans, bringing everybody together, our friendship, how it started. We didn't know each other before the game, before hockey.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Firebirds did this.
That's awesome.
It was December 18th. Hi, I'm Kyle. He said, hi, I'm David.
Hey, what's up? Welcome.
I'm going to be here all season long. He said, me too. And then as the season progressed, one of the funny stories that him and I share is, we live here in North Indio, and so we ran into each other down at Winco. But we didn't recognize each other because I wasn't.
I'm staring at him like a stalker serial killer.
I thought he was going to ask for my phone number.
I know,
It was really
seriously,
cool.
And I didn't catch myself staring until it was too late.
And he's just kind of walking by and staring, and I'm like, all right, man, like,
All right,
here's my
he's
number.
all, yeah, I'm looking pretty good.
Whatever you got to do, bro. I was getting ready to brag it to my wife. Hey, I'm catching the eyes
Still
of
got
both.
it.
Yeah, still got it, babe. And I think I remember yelling like,
He called my
he
name.
said, Dave? And he turns around and goes, I thought that was you. Because I wasn't in my game gear.
Yeah, it's
He wasn't
out
in
of context,
his.
right.
And then all of a sudden, we just started chatting for about, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, we sat there in that hot-ass 100-degree parking lot
Yep.
for a good 15, 20 minutes.
Easy. And we exchanged phone numbers.
Cool.
And we closed the deal.
Our wives know.
Yeah, oh,
Like, there's no- yeah,
the
they're-
bromance
they're
is
in on it,
real.
yeah. They're in
It's
on it.
real. But I mean that story resonates because there were so many other people in that building that happened to.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for it. I mean,
For
I
sure.
I love Dave and I love his family and love
sure.
everybody who's associated and all of that. But so I think when you're going to your job. You're not. It's not really your job.
No, man.
When you get to go play,
Right.
be the hype man. But I mean, it's you're creating that atmosphere, just like the DJ. Just like Jason's doing. We talked about how I couldn't imagine the games without Jason calling it. How weird would that be?
And if you remember, maybe you don't. He didn't call the first. He wasn't there opening night, and he wasn't there the second game of the. I think there were the first two.
Which I don't remember.
I don't remember.
And it was a kid, Logan Safarenko, who is the backup PA for Ontario, and he's their host, their hype man in Ontario. And he wanted to get the PA gig, but he lived up in the Ontario area.
Okay.
Didn't want to drive down every game so it just didn't work out. And Jason then was like, I don't care about the drive. I want it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. And now the rest is
He's
history.
wanted it for a
So,
really long
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he does an amazing job, obviously.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine. Well, number one, I can't imagine sitting in my seat without Dave around
Yeah,
and
knock on wood,
Rob
no.
and everybody who sits around me. Number one, I absolutely love it. It's Disneyland for me, and that's why I act the way I act sometimes. I mean, it's a great time. It's 3 hours. We get it. We're professionals, but when we're there, we're kids having a great time, and you help with that. Everybody who works there helps with that. I think it's so magical. And then, of course, the boys playing on the ice, and we get to see good hockey and competitive, grinded out hockey, and then
and professional NHL level hockey.
Yes,
for sure.
What
Yeah,
Dan
for sure.
Bilesma has done with his
Whoa.
structure, the way he plays, and if we get into the hockey side of things,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. There was not a better man for that job, and you needed somebody that's been through every level and won at every level to take that. You can't start
Again,
a new program
it
with
goes
a
back to all the different things that
Yeah.
had to happen
Yeah.
for this
Yes.
thing to happen.
And that's
that
what I'm
goes
saying.
back to
Yeah.
Troy Bodie, right?
Yeah,
That
exactly.
He made the hire of Dan Bilesma and company, and it's been unbelievable.
Can you imagine that dinner? Hey, Dan, I'm going to take you to dinner. Oh, Troy, why? I just want to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
And now
I'm
here
gonna move
we
you
are.
and your whole life to the desert
Yeah,
for a
exactly.
new team. Don't know how it's gonna go.
Come
on.
I
Yeah.
think that's where having this opportunity to do the show, but also to be a part of the fan base. I mean, it is. We're spoiled. You even said it, man. You even have your dinners.
Yeah.
You're like, man, we're spoiled. We talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
holy cow, as
We know,
fans,
dude. We totally know.
we're
There's
so
no
spoiled.
mystery anymore.
Season ticket holders, we thought we were just doing stuff to hang out for date nights with our wives.
Right.
But, I mean, now we got to be a part of something really special. One of the things I remember, I don't think I saw you there, but when the boys showed up, when they came in from the airplanes, and when they came
Yes.
in,
Well, they
were you,
flew in,
I
from
was not.
Milwaukee.
Our station was there, but no, I was not.
yeah, what'd you think of that?
Unbelievable. Right, it's like, are you kidding me? Like, 6 months ago, they didn't even know what hockey was out here.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you've got a whole community coming together.
Standing in the
Exactly.
heat.
Yeah, it's
And I don't think anything else. Baseball couldn't have done this. Football couldn't have done
no,
this.
Yeah.
no.
I mean,
does winning help? Sure, right?
Yeah.
But if you had asked me last year, I'd say, yeah, of course, the place is packed because they made it to the finals and everybody bought in. Fast forward 10 years from now, say there is a down year, it doesn't matter. This
not
place,
to me.
Not
this
here.
place is
Yeah.
bought in. It's never, that building will not be empty. It's
And
just
you've
not
been
gonna be.
around. Like, you've been around. Like,
Yeah.
so you know fan bases.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I see, like, I can see it in your face right now. And
Yeah.
even when you were talking about, no, you're not just giving lip service, but you're legit.
it's-
You understand the fan base.
It's more than hockey to them. It is their family now. It is their life. It's something to do with purpose. You're not
I
just
guess
going
we're
to mess around.
Living the
So,
cliche. It's
Yeah.
True.
you know, sometimes cliches are real.
Yeah,
I guess
no, it's
'cause
beyond real
That's
here.
how I feel about
Yep.
it anyway.
Yep.
And I think it's really cool because it's not like Major League Sports in the sense of like Madison Square Garden or, you know, the bigger venues, because you kind of feel disconnected a little bit. I'm a big Seahawk fan, and I love my boys. I am very, you know, much all in,
Right.
as everybody knows.
the most quiet 6-2 team in NFL right now. The Seahawks. Are they
5-2.
6-2? 5-2.
Yeah, number one in the
All
NFC
Geno
West.
Smith
Yep.
and Pete Carroll have done together is win, and they get
Right,
no respect.
and they get no
That's
respect.
Another podcast.
No, I no, we can get on that. I
got
love
other
that
issues with
topic.
Pete Carroll's,
I
you know.
love that. No, we're
Yeah.
not. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But we're not going there.
I got issues.
Absolutely. And but I think what makes this also special is it's also the Valley itself, because it's an intimate venue.
Right.
The players live here. You can catch them out at Costco.
Sure.
I ran into a guy who.
You're not going to catch Riker at Home Depot, though.
No, you got to watch that episode if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
It's
no,
good.
I haven't watched all of it.
Oh, it's a good one.
Okay.
He anyway, I won't get into that.
Yeah.
We love you, Rikes.
Yeah,
We're
love
not
you,
gonna
man.
we're not
Yeah,
bashing you, dude. I
it's
promise we
just
love you,
too
but
funny not to repeat.
we so I ran into a kid, and he listens to the show, and he was saying how much he loved the podcast, but he mentioned that he works at a certain place where they go drive through after the games. I mean, that doesn't happen in a lot of other areas where he's like, yeah, I see him after the games. They're coming through drive-through. It's really awesome, and they'll engage with them. They'll be out, at Home Depot. They'll be out in the valley,
Yeah.
golf courses,
Yeah, big time golfers.
Yeah.
right?
Most
And
of them, yeah.
like that's really neat. I mean, that's special because that again doesn't happen in a lot of the bigger venues.
No, and
I
I think that the organization has done a good job of making them available. Also, right? There's a
For
ton of
sure.
fan events that you wouldn't see in
Yeah.
bigger cities, and they are here within the community. And what's cool about this is there's not so many places to live, right? So you're going to eventually run in.
You're gonna
guys
run into
that play in New York City. A lot of
Yeah.
them live in Jersey or Connecticut, or
And you're not,
so-
you're not going to,
Right.
and they're not going to the store.
Right.
You're not running into
No,
the
here
7-Eleven.
they are everyday people just chasing their dream and playing
Yeah.
a kid's
Do you
game.
get called out? Do people see you and go,
You know what's funny
What's
is
up,
I
man?
get it more from the Firebirds than I do NBC.
really?
So I'm on TV every night. I see you guys once, twice a month, and it's like, all right, hey, whatever works. You
At
know,
least you're
whatever.
leaving an impression.
Yeah, it's never the bad comments are always online, right? It's through the keyboard.
Oh, the
super-
anonymous
yeah.
keyboard warriors.
They'll never
Yeah.
say it to your
Yeah.
face. But
What was one of your special moments during the playoffs?
being able to host that party at Spotlight 29.
Really?
2,000 fans, right? Almost 2,000. That place was sold out.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Every game in the playoffs was unbelievable inside the
Sure.
arena. Special every day. Just the energy was electric. But the way that you guys reacted at that theater inside the casino was
They were just
I
as
can't
loud.
I can't even explain it. I try to tell people back home when the Rangers made it to the finals, we hosted a big party at Bryant Park. There was probably like 20,000 people in New York City.
Wow.
It was insane. But again, there's still people there that it's New York City. They're
Yeah.
there. They don't even know what the hell's going on, but they're there. Every single person in that casino knew what the hell was going on, and it was the most energetic, just raucous crowd I've ever been a part of. And
Heck
was,
yeah.
I get goosebumps thinking about it right now.
I think it was the second or third Hershey game at Spotlight. There may have been 2,000 people in the room, but
Yeah.
it was just me. I was just absolutely just glued. Like I couldn't even comprehend what was going
Right.
on
Yep.
around me. But at one point I looked around and there was 2,000 other people exactly the same.
Yeah, you could hear a pin drop during
Yes.
the game.
Yep. 2,000 of us all by ourselves watching that. That was
That's pretty awesome.
very surreal experience.
Yeah, it's special. I unfortunately, right, you lose on that final one. It comes down to one shot.
One
each
shot.
season.
That's
And
hockey.
the way the fans reacted, that is something, as I mentioned earlier, I'll
Yeah.
take away forever. That was probably my highlight of the season and a more of a somber moment, but you wouldn't have known the way the fans reacted. You would have thought they just won the Calder Cup. It was almost the same to me as like, who just won? Like, what are we, and it was special. And in that moment I realized like this will be around for a very
exactly,
long time
and we're not
here.
going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's so funny. You made me go inward for a minute just by talking about
Yeah.
it because it's true. There was the slow motion goal going in,
Yep.
And why are the Hershey's players?
Yeah,
throwing their
why are they
gloves?
excited?
What
We
just
couldn't.
happened?
Our brain
Yeah.
couldn't comprehend. I remember then just that heavy, and then you're right. All of a sudden, the chants started to kick in,
Yep.
and let's go Firebirds.
Yep.
Boom, let's go Fire, and then it's Joey. Like everybody was just making sure that they wanted to pour love onto the boys and let them know like, hey, we're not disappointed. You guys showed up. You did your thing.
You helped us, right? Thank you.
It was a big thank you.
Yeah.
You're right. It was our way of doing that, and you're right. I think that really did let everybody know we're
nothing
here.
bad happened.
Yeah,
And
we're
it
here.
sucks.
We're
Right.
here.
And it'll forever. There's going to be a little part of my hard drive that's
Yeah.
affected by it, but
You get that little sting when you think
Yeah.
about it. For
Can't
a
help
second,
it.
but-
Can't help it.
Yeah.
Cole
that-
said he still thinks about it.
yeah,
Yeah, we asked him about it on the last show, and he says, yeah, it still sits with him. There's still, and I think that's a good thing.
Sure.
Because I play the devil's advocate at times around it. Like, well, okay, what happens if we win? Then where do you go from there?
What would this year have been had they won? All right, they're gonna do it again, right? Like,
Right.
how do you
Yeah, I
how do
mean,
you feel? I don't know. Yeah.
that's why Rocky had to lose in the first one, or it wouldn't have
right.
made sense.
That's
The
right.
second
Nobody
one's
liked
so
it,
much
but
better
he
He's
because
made
got no
sense.
shot
Yeah.
against Drago
Yeah.
if he wins every match.
But it's, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it provides some hunger. It leaves some, I think Disco Dan talked about it, I think in the off season during some interviews, he just said, there's some unfinished business out there. And I like that chip on the shoulder. I think players, coaches, they got to play with that edge. They got to have that chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
There's got to be something to prove.
Yep.
There's a hunger there. And yes, it would have been nice to hoist that cup because we were there because they had won so many overtime games. They had pulled it out so many different times. But then for it not to happen, I think it's okay because, again, to have that chip on our shoulder, there's always unfinished business. There's some other hardware that needs to be in our building.
You said I never stopped to think about what would this year be like if we won. Would it have been as special?
Yeah, I don't know
I
because
don't know either.
there's nothing else to reach at that point, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you did it in year one, and all right.
Now, everything else is
Right.
just
Yeah.
No, there's always that until we win it, and imagine what that's going to feel like.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
gonna
Imagine
happen.
what that's going
It
to.
is-
Oh, it will.
it's gonna happen.
I think it's going to happen in 5 years or less.
There's
That's
too many smart hockey minds here.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh
not
yeah,
to.
and the drafting and the talent they're bringing
Yep.
in, and the Kraken are amazing, and they know what they're doing.
What a
I would just
good
like to
problem
see it
to
with
have.
these guys, just because this is our first connection.
Yeah,
right?
no, I would love to
Yeah.
see Potts.
I went on
and-
record last year, and I was shocked, selfishly happy that Riker Evans is still here. I mean, I thought
I
It
agree.
won't be for long.
It
Yeah.
won't be.
I agree.
He'll be up. He'll be
Yep.
the first defenseman.
I
called up
didn't
when,
think he was gonna. I thought he was staying after.
Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause
Just
he-
watching him last year. I mean,
I know.
It's not even. Is it fun when you're that good? Like
He's stupid
still
good.
having fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he stands out more so than
Yeah.
any defenseman.
And he was on the show, and we got a sense to really be around him and talk with him. And he is one of the most humble
Just
kids.
the nicest.
yeah,
He is
know.
easygoing, and
awesome.
I had asked him, "Did you keep the puck after you scored the triple overtime puck?" And he's like,
No. Like, why
Why?
would I?
and I'm like, "Are you kidding, man?" I had to explain to him. I had to break it down to him a little bit on what that goal meant.
yeah.
Winning that, that got us over the hump, and just pushing us into that next level.
Yeah.
And it didn't even compete
He's like,
with
no,
him.
it's just another game.
Yeah, it was just another goal. He was ready to be done, and but
Yeah, he's like, I just wanted to go to
he just
bed.
he just wanted to
He
be
was just
finished.
tired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love that. I think you're right. I think he probably won't be around much longer.
Yeah.
We've got some other new young bloods that we saw, is really making their statements.
Yep.
And I think the boys last season set the bar. That's what I loved, is that they set the bar so high.
The culture is set.
If you're coming in, here's Firebirds hockey, and you better.
And that Max McCormick seems kind of quiet, reserved, laid back, but he's a totally different person out on that
He's
ice.
a Rottweiler.
Yeah. And that just shows you what they're building. So
I
what
agree.
they've already built.
Do you get to interact with them
When I
behind the scenes?
when I do some stuff with NBC, I get to I get to do I'm doing some segments with them now that'll come out over the next couple months.
Don't be afraid to promote. That's what we're doing here a little bit.
So we're going to be launching some new stuff with NBC come the new year, and we're doing some fun interviews and SNL type skits and stuff.
Awesome
with the guys.
Oh, you got some good characters.
So I know Potsy's.
Potsy's going to be on top of that. Reichs is going to do it. He's not afraid of that stuff.
He was good. Potsy was hysterical, and Chris Drieger, people don't really have a chance. They don't know him yet, right?
Right.
You're replacing Joey here, who just the fans.
It's a tall order.
It's a huge order. He was the funniest one. The personality that came out of him.
I love that.
And I hope and I can't wait for the Valley to see that.
Cole
side
says
of
he's
him.
a character.
Yeah.
Cole says
they're
he's
on
a
the
character.
bus. We talked about that a little bit during a couple of the episodes about them. They play cards on the bus, and Dreeks is one of the guys that will chirp quite
Hysterical.
a bit. And
So funny.
yeah.
Well, I said this last time, and I'll say it again. I hope he knows, right, that Joey's, it's great, whatever, big shoes, whatever.
Yeah.
He's gone. His time is done. He's our goalie now.
Yep.
He's our guy now.
Yep.
He's the one that has our support now. And we've begun to try to get the Drieger to catch on, and it will.
Oh, sure.
And I want him to enjoy that same level of adoration and admiration.
Yeah.
And all he has to do is just keep doing what he's doing.
And for the fans that don't know, I mean, that's an NHL goaltender.
Yes, he is.
He's playing. He's playing on a dozen teams in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
If he's not in this organization,
Yeah.
just because of their
absolutely.
depth. And how lucky were we, right, to go from Joey to Drieger? It's
We're
like, come on.
spoiled. Again, we're spoiled
Yeah.
on all fronts.
Yep.
I mean, down to the concessions. Sorry, I'm going to throw that out there.
Yeah,
but
very
it's
good,
true.
huh?
They're really good, man.
Oh, the concessions?
Yeah, except for found out last night they took away my Fuego fries.
They're back.
What?
They're back.
I heard
The Fuego sauce is on the side.
it's on the side. I don't want it on the side. I want what I had last season, man.
Then you
I want
open
them
it
on-
and you pour it
no,
on, and then
dude,
it's not
it
on the
is not
side
the
anymore.
same
It's
setup,
very
bro.
easy.
Why do I need to put? It's not IKEA. I don't want to put it together. I want to have it already assembled. It tasted so much better
This
when
goes
it was.
back to getting. We were spoiled.
I'm just saying, yeah, man. I mean, they took my Fuego fries away. I don't want it on the side. I want it. Anyway,
Well,
I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, you might not talk to your therapist about that one.
I'm just
That's
throwing that out.
That's a level I
there.
can't address.
I learned. I mean,
Yeah.
if they take my popcorn away, there's a riot happening. I tell you
Yeah,
what.
no,
'cause
popcorn's
that's
pretty good.
That's my
Yeah.
staple.
All right, one last thing, totally like weird off the thing, but I know that people watching and listening, they're going to want to know. So the night of the blackout,
Yes.
it's 6 o'clock, almost on the dot. Time to get this thing started, and then it goes black. We're screaming.
Here we
yelling,
go,
and
boys.
all of a sudden, it's not. Where's the video? And
Yeah.
why are the generator lights on? And so for like a full 90 minutes,
Yep.
what were you doing? What was going on for those 90 minutes?
I am standing on my little
Platform.
waiting. If that kicks back on, I've got to.
Your game
So
on.
you were just on
I'm on
standby
standby
the whole time?
because I was the next one. So you know how I do the countdown and then it goes black.
Yeah.
Well, that countdown was about 15 seconds out, and it goes black. And I'm like, well, why?
What did I miss?
Yeah, why would they jump me like
This
that?
wasn't in
I would do the countdown. It
pre-production.
goes black. What happened? And then we find out it got the.
Were you
power went
mad
out.
at someone? Like, who stepped on my toe?
I was a little
Yeah.
annoyed, like, because I'm ready. You get in
Yeah.
that zone,
Yeah.
and then it's like, dude. And then the only reason I got upset because there was no communication in the first. Everything goes down. Headsets.
Oh, wow.
Everything
Well,
goes
I
out.
can tell you
All of
why.
it.
There was no communication.
Because exactly.
power
The
went
power
out.
There's
was
no
out.
power.
So yeah, you get a little worked up in that moment, and then had the power come back on, it would have been, I would have jumped right into after Jason's announcement. It would have hopped right into the countdown.
So
So
you
I
just had to be
stood there
ready.
on standby. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
And it
Was
was-
anybody like sending you pigeon notes or telling you, hey, it's going to be 5 minutes, it's going to be 20 minutes? Like,
There was no timetable. Nobody knew exactly what happened or why or where it happened. But we did know at that point, I think it was like a 7:15 cutoff, maybe 7:05. I can't remember the exact time, but there was the cutoff time.
That they said after which we're not.
We're not
we're,
doing-
we're not running.
we're
with
not
this. Yeah, because and I'm sure RJ could touch on had the generator not.
He was
pushed.
out there with the thermometer.
Yep.
He looked concerned too.
Sure.
The
'Cause
ice is melting.
Yeah, you can't obviously play on it if
Yeah.
it's just not a certain
Yeah.
depth. And it's funny is the refs pretty much packed their bags and left before they even made the official call. They
No
were over it.
kidding.
Yeah, they're
Really?
like, screw this. It's preseason. We're over it.
We're done. Wow.
I don't know how long. Did you guys leave
No,
after the
we were
announcement?
there.
or
We were there until they said no game.
Were you there when the power came back on?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
we were.
you know when it came back
So
on? We were-
upset.
Yeah.
Our seats are like at the bottom of 106.
Yep.
Get to the top. Foot touches the top.
lights
power
on.
goes back
Yeah,
on.
yeah, we were walking back down. We have our own little. It's like a storage closet, but we'll call it our little locker room. And I had just walked in there, and it was like, woof, everything
Lights
popped
on.
back out. You got to be. The refs were already on the
Yeah,
table.
so
they
you-
were in their car.
I was
they
a
were already at
fool.
Del Taco. They were like,
I'm an
yeah.
idiot. I go, so as soon as the lights come on, I turn around thinking,
Hey,
I
we're
run
back.
down.
Yeah, we're back.
I'm banging on the glass. Let's bring them out.
Yeah.
And Jason's like,
Oh,
nah, go
Jason
home.
was the last
Go home.
one. That poor
Yeah.
little lone kid. Just
Go
the last
home.
one off the
Yeah,
ice.
it was hilarious.
You know, had they maybe the refs stayed, you can wing that, right? There wasn't a TV game. It was
Yeah.
preseason. You can play with
But
it. But
there, if I'm Biles' mom, I'm saying no, dude. Their heads are out of it.
Yeah.
I don't want them getting hurt.
They're cold.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
right.
It would have been
Warm up.
nice to be able to see what they have, but we'll see them again on Sunday.
Because you were looking at another
Yeah.
25 minutes for warm-ups, right?
Yep.
You had to skate again.
Yep.
Refs had
They
to
probably
skate
ought to get
again,
dressed
so-
again.
Yeah, a lot of them
Yeah.
were just chilling. So it's so funny how that works.
What are you feeling now, I guess, into this new season? I mean,
Yeah.
what are you seeing differently?
Shoot. If anything, I think they might even be a little bit better offensively, right? I think.
Talk to me.
Well, you
Last
get,
night looked like it.
you
They
get
look
sh-
great.
You get shut out, obviously, that 1-0 loss. Then you go on the road and score, 14 goals and
Yeah.
right? Is it 14?
In
There was
3
21
games?
in 3 games, so
Yeah.
whatever that math
Yeah.
comes out to. But their power play looks. They're 2-4 on the power.
The power play does
They're
look
moving
better.
the puck better.
And that was our Achilles heel
Yeah.
Or so we thought. yeah.
from last season was the power. No, it was. They just didn't score a lot in the power plays last year. They
Right.
just did not do
Right.
it. This year, we've
They
been
weren't
more effective.
shooting enough on the
Cool.
power play last year.
We've talked about that. Yeah, I agree.
This year they are.
Tune in this Friday. You'll see why.
Okay.
We learned why.
All right.
Yeah.
There was a reason for it. I think maybe the execution wasn't happening.
Okay.
But there was a lot of
But
setup.
now-
There's a lot of setup to get the one shot that they wanted to get, but they just weren't getting it.
Okay.
They'd
This
rather
year,
take the
I
170%
feel
shot
like
than the 23%
they're a little more
shots.
That's
aggressive.
where analytics and everything
Yeah.
comes
Yes.
into the game now.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's no feel. You still have the feel, but you've got to.
Yep.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah,
So-
and we've changed that a bit this year.
And I think Jessica Campbell is the assistant coach that
Yeah.
works on the power play.
Yeah.
And she won't be here long either. Mark.
No, I
they're
agree.
all-
She will be the first.
Luckily,
female
I
on
think
NHL
they're all
bench.
at least under contract for the remainder
Yeah,
of this
yeah,
season.
oh,
At least
yeah.
they're
It
good
won't
for
hap-
this
yeah,
season.
for
Yeah.
this
Next
year,
season, I
it's-
don't know.
Yeah.
I would love, Jessica, and Dan, but Jessica, to get her in here,
Yeah.
have a seat. I would love.
I gotta ask Evan.
I
Yes,
would
you
love.
please.
Yes, Evan,
Yes.
please make that happen because I think having just her, both the coaches for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's how do you guys get these boys ready and make those tweak adjustments?
Sure.
And there's a lot of questions
Yeah, and
that
then
I have.
Stu Bickle, who's he played in the NHL. The
Stu,
AHL,
yeah,
and
man.
He's on the penalty kill and defense, and I
Yeah.
mean it's the guy. He's Jimmy Schultz and Riker Evans, and
Golly.
the guy and Cale Fleury. Cale
Yeah.
Fleury's a guy that would be on a dozen NHL teams.
Well,
right
and
now, so-
he has been. He played for the Canadians, I think, for quite some time, and he played for the Kraken for quite.
Yeah, dude, we're not. Don't get comfortable. Don't.
Yeah.
I know.
Like if you buy them presents, like save your receipts because they're not staying very long.
It's crazy. The
but
amount of talent.
the offense is moving the puck. They're flying around right now.
And Cole,
they're a
he-
lot faster. I've
Yes.
noticed
Yep.
this season.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
They cycle the puck behind the net better than any team you'll see. That's a
Yep.
Dan Bilesman thing, which is awesome. They're good, man. You don't want to make predictions, right?
Well,
But
no, I was gonna break
They're
it.
gonna get. They'll get back to the playoffs, and then whatever
Deep
happens
run.
at that point, yeah. Look, it's anybody you get in, and anything can happen. But,
That's right.
But anything less than a deep run, I think you're like, damn.
I think
They let
anything
that
less
one
than a
slip
deep
away.
effort.
Right. I know.
They'll put forth the effort, and
Yeah.
then the pucks
Yeah.
will go where
It's
they
gonna
go.
do. It's gonna do.
You'll never have to question
Yeah.
with Disco Dan. You'll never
No.
question his team's
That
effort.
effort's there, man.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, last night was fun. It was great to see. I was so glad to see that they kind of broke the seal because we hadn't won a home game yet.
Yeah, no.
We were doing everything on the road, which was kind of bizarre.
2 goals in 2 games at that point, right? At
Yeah.
home. So
Yep.
Yeah, and but yeah, we go on the road and like you said, we run up the scores.
Yeah.
and which is great. Love having all those points. Like, let's go.
We got to remember, right? We didn't see them this time last year.
Yeah.
We waited, so they were probably doing all the same stuff last year.
Yeah, working out the kinks, and again, by the time we see him December 18th, they're a well-oiled machine. They're
That's that. I know Bosma's talked about the AHL. They have that weird. You get like a bye week right out of the gates, right? At one point, they were the Firebirds entering last night, played the least amount of games in the league.
Yeah,
and it was like, and every team
we'll
kind of goes through that. Yeah, it all works out.
Last year we were a game behind Calgary the whole time because they played.
Yeah.
They simply had played one or two more games than we did.
Yeah,
it's true.
And I think that kind of goes back to. I mentioned the second game of the season, 1-0 shutout. I left thinking, like, I did a terrible job. I was just down. I felt the crowd. But that helps, too, right? When you don't score, there's no real excitement to get the crowd
That's
into
true.
it. So that's a learning curve, too, right? I can do what I can up there, but at the end of the day, you want to see goals.
Goals keep everybody. Well,
exactly,
like you saw. I mean, man, we eight goals. That keeps you excited.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time. I mean, they was back to back. I love that one. I mean, I didn't even put my goal sign down.
Right.
Firebirds goal. I've got the one sign that
Evan
I made.
was in the middle of announcing the first goal.
He's got to, oh man!
Yeah, he's got to stop.
He's got to catch up with himself,
and then he's got to do it in Spanish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so. I cannot wait to talk to him. We need to work on his accent, right?
Should you be critiquing though?
I should, yes.
Really? You're the one?
Sí, pero porque no se puede hablar español.
Really?
Yes. I don't know what I just said 100%. Not 100% what I just said.
You blacked out.
But it sounded good.
You
though,
went
didn't it?
Will Ferrell on me.
Sounded
You
like I
blacked
knew.
right out.
I just sat back here.
Yeah.
And
I know, right?
He's bilingual.
You have no idea.
So I used to be functionally fluent when I was a paramedic. I worked in a predominantly Hispanic city. So, my partner, Ernie Rodriguez, didn't speak a lick of Spanish. But in the last, 20 years, I don't ever use it.
Right,
So it's in there somewhere.
It's in there.
Yeah.
That's
But
hilarious.
he was funny.
So I
last
think
night.
maybe then that might be our next adventure is have Jason come back on and we'll just have that conversation.
Do the
with
whole
him.
podcast in Spanish.
Or something. Or Spanglish.
Spanglish, I
Or
could do that. So you think, so you're seeing like these young guys come through and they're fitting the culture.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you think is the rising star so far?
Shane Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an interesting bird, right? Because there was so much hope for him last season. Yeah. He kind of was a little, I don't want to say flat, but just didn't.
Right.
Not much.
There was a lot of expectations there.
Yeah, right. Top 5, or he was number 4, the 4th overall
pick.
Is
on fire.
I think he played 3 or 4 teams last year. He played with,
Yep.
so he was he was all over.
Yeah,
he never had a
just
home.
finding himself, I guess.
So you and that goal he scored last night. I mean, that's top. That's an NHL wrist shot. That's top level
was
shooting. He knows what he's doing, and you can tell he's got the talent. He's above some of the other guys.
He might be another one that we.
Yeah. Well,
he's not long for this team.
Right.
He's going back. He's going up.
I think he'll. I don't want to make a prediction at that either, but I'd be shocked if he goes up this year. I think they want him in the AHL for the season just to get his experience and
what do they call that? Not grooming. That's a dirty word.
No, that's about right.
I mean, that's what helps when you have a coaching staff like
Prime.
There's a word for it.
I don't know.
Develop.
Develop.
He's sure they want to develop him more.
So that's he's noticeably faster, stronger out there.
It looks like I heard he put the work in the off season. He put in some extra work, and I think he does look more focused. He looks a little more relaxed.
Yeah,
I think that's a big thing. Riker had talked about that, where when you get drafted and there's all that expectation on you, and especially at a high level.
Yeah.
Number one, a lot of those guys aren't having fun.
No.
And we after being around some of these guys and talking with them, that has to be like the main ingredient. If you're not having fun while you're playing, you're not going to do well.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not saying that was the case last year for him, but I could see maybe where the pressure of having to do so well, not having fun while you're doing it, and maybe getting accustomed to what was going on. Yeah. That could have played a factor in all of it.
I think there's a preconceived notion that he didn't want to be here, right? He thought he was good enough to be at the top.
I didn't feel that.
I don't know.
I don't think that, and I think Drieger a little bit gets that reputation.
I think so.
I don't think it's the case, right? I think kind of.
Well, they're both in it to win it now.
And I think it goes back to the culture. Like, if this was an organization that you weren't going to make the top team, this ain't a bad place to get your feet wet, develop, learn, and
absolutely.
And, they've got, again, goes back to pro level culture at a minor league team. I mean, these guys are going to be ready. Last night, I was up on my deck, west deck there, and Riker Evans made a play that I don't know that there's maybe even half a dozen of pro defensemen, NHL defensemen that could make that play. He was beat by 2 skate lengths from the forward, and he got his ass back and stuck his stick. I mean, he cut across the entire ice to cut this guy off. The guy never even got a shot off.
Wow.
Like that, you can't teach that either. Like that, you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
And so we're really spoiled getting a chance to see Riker Evans here.
He's like the Incredible Hulk in that he sits here, he's just quiet and shy and doesn't talk very loud. And he gets out there and he is so intense.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's
so
pretty
powerful.
physical, too.
He is physical.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
It's just fun to watch.
Yeah.
And each player has their own attributes, which I love. Their personalities, what they're bringing. Lynn likes to create chaos and havoc and talk and chirp, and Potts is in there. He's always mixing it up. And
smiling. Potts is always smiling.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. Always
They're
just
having fun.
He's like a kid playing on Sunday. Just, hey, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. He's having so much fun.
Yeah, it cracks me up. I think we're spoiled. I think that's the word of the show. We're spoiled. Yeah.
To have the amount of players return, that doesn't happen in the minor leagues.
Again, we don't have any experience with that.
Yeah.
Is that unusual?
It's very unusual. There's always big turnover on a minor league roster.
Really?
And then even when there is turnover, right, we get a lot of these guys back. But think about just some of the guys. Logan Morrison last night, and the kid, that dude, it's gonna be good.
Awesome.
Where'd that cat come from?
Yeah.
That was his first pro goal last night.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
He was.
Ryan Winterton's another name.
Yeah, Winterton's been stepping it up.
Yeah,
on the road, he had a few goals back to back. Then
Yep.
they played those 2 series. I was like, what the heck?
And I think
We got something there.
they're not even rolling yet, right?
No, we're not even.
So this is a good problem to have.
I said this, and believe me, I love your boy True. I do.
know.
He's gone.
I know.
Winterton plays
Yep.
like if True was consistent, which he wasn't.
Well, I agree with that.
He is
I agree.
on point every single time.
He's got
steps
that
on
fire.
the ice.
He definitely has the fire.
Yeah. But he's a big, tall drink of water, big guy. He kind of reminds me of him.
Yeah.
But he
gets after it.
He gets after
He
it.
gets after
for sure.
it. Yeah, when we saw those road games, we were watching. I'm like, this guy's playing different. And that's the cool part. Again, it goes back to that culture that the boys have set.
Sure.
And it was talked about. It was the veterans that started that in the locker room. It's we hate losing more than we like winning, and we're gonna go out there and win, boys.
Great mentality, right?
It has to be. I think that's a winner's mentality.
Yeah, especially now that they're hungry still, right? They've got that. There's that last.
There's a burn there.
Last little
Yeah.
step there.
There's a burn there for the guys that are returning,
Sure.
and there's a drive there for the new guys wanting to help push it over. I think I agree with you. I think we're in for a deep run.
2 days
I think so.
after.
Deep run.
2 days after Game 7 last year, after the loss, they go and clean their lockers before they go home. And media, you try to be biased, right? And you try to kind of, or I shouldn't say neutral, I should say.
There you go.
You're not a fan, right? You can't be a fan.
Right.
But the media bought into, like, we felt just as sad 2 days after talking to the players as, our questions probably sounded just as down and sad
Just
as
as
their
morose
answers. And it was like, man, like, and then when they say, all right, hey, have a great summer, I'm going back to Buffalo, and it's like, Buffalo's so far from here, and you don't know that they're even coming back here. Yeah. It's like, nice seeing you. Hope to see you again. Like, what do you say, right?
That was one of the hardest things with last
Yeah.
season was we didn't have a chance to say goodbye or thank you.
Yep.
All those things.
Yep.
So to hear that we had the majority of the roster coming back, we
Right.
had the coaching staff coming back,
Yep.
which again I said it repeatedly here. I'm so thankful. That was my biggest concern because it starts at the top. And I thought for sure, like you said, Jessica, Dan, those guys are going to be gone. I was like, oh, no.
Well, I can't wait. And I was thinking about this not that long, a couple days back. 15, 20 years from now, when they bring this team back to Acrisure Arena to honor them, 20th anniversary.
Hanging jerseys.
Because
Sure.
that'll be the next and probably last chance to thank them for that,
It's true.
for that season. And
See,
right?
20
And
years?
10 years, let's say 10.
Let's say- I hope
Some of these
10.
guys are
I'm
still,
just trying to calculate how old I'm going to be.
I know, right?
I might
They're gonna
not be
be
at the bottom of the staff. I might not
much
be at the
older.
top anymore.
Because 10 years
Yeah.
even, look at Shane Wright. He's 19 or 20. He'll still be playing 10 years from now. So, I'm
Golly.
just trying to think of the next chance to get the whole team back. And it's crazy to think. But
I'll have to
even
get new
after 1
suits.
year, it's just the impact that they had,
And I hope,
It's true.
we got to thank our guys because we saw them again, right?
Yeah.
But Brogan Rafferty and Matt Tennyson
Yeah.
and True and Eddie Whitco,
Yeah.
are they ever going to know how grateful we are for them as well? And
Right.
they're,
Right.
gone, and hope maybe somebody will tell them.
Yeah.
If you got their numbers, text them and say we say thanks.
Maybe they're watching.
Send them this clip.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
If True's watching,
But-
I'll see you in Charlotte in January. And
Yeah.
till then, I'm sorry about the whole inconsistent thing.
Yeah, and
I don't want True to be mad at me.
it was fun at the 29 this year because to see those guys again.
Yeah.
And now that we know them a bit, we have that connection with them. And hey, good job last year. Looking forward to this year. All that good stuff.
And what's cool about it is last year or over the summer with free agency, the success of last year got around the league, and it was a factor in coming to play here.
Right.
Dude,
Not
Marion
only
knew
Student
that
Each.
knew that was happening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
has to be.
It's beautiful, right? Not
Yeah.
the weather's perfect.
Yeah,
golf,
it's all these
but
reasons.
The winning culture, and it's
The fan base,
Yeah,
it's the
man,
arena, it's the environment,
Yes.
it's all of it. How
Yes.
do you not want to come here and
that's
play?
huge.
And then not only that, an opportunity to go play with a playoff team like the
Yeah.
Kraken.
Yep.
Like, excuse me, hello, they're a new franchise too that has set a standard and a
Yep.
bar, a winning way.
Yep.
They've got a great fan base.
And they're fun to watch because they play the same
They
style.
pa-
It's a style that
they
we're used
do.
to watching.
They're fast and
So it's like
yeah.
our guys in different uniforms.
Yep.
It's
It's the best.
I love it.
Yeah. So when they get, it's just plug and play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from the same system from
Yep.
the top down.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
I wouldn't mind hooking up, getting a quick Alaska flight up, and just going to a Kraken game.
We need to do that.
Go see the new
I,
arena.
I think I've got some connects. We can get into a game. Don't you worry
Well,
about.
you can go to the box office and get into the
No,
game. I need
no,
some discount
no,
airline
no,
tickets, and
no. That's what we. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just got to work on the travel. I've got the accommodations. I've got the connects. I've got the tickets.
I'm not staying at your house.
No, I got some people
Okay.
that will put us up.
Right.
I'm connected.
Is the name
The
Marriott
Nor-
or Hilton? Because
I mean, you are bougie, so we are
going
gonna have to.
staying
Go.
at other people's houses.
Okay, fine,
Even
man.
as a
Then you
kid,
do what you
come
wanna
over
do.
to my house all you want and stay. But I don't like.
Okay.
I'm not
Well,
worried about
I'll
that.
go kick it with my. I've got people
do
up
that.
there.
All right, I'll meet you in the hotel lobby.
You do you. I'll find my. I'm taken care of. I know I'm good.
You
So,
are good. You are good. Hey, I see your hands on it. Let's get to rapid fire.
So you've
Okay.
seen the show.
Yeah.
You know how we get ready to land the plane on this one.
Have you been rehearsing your rapid fire questions?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So it's real simple. Don't think.
Okay.
Right. Just react. All right. What's your go-to food at the arena at the concessions?
Churros. Do they have churros?
No,
we
you
don't-
listen.
no,
We're not all
we don't
spoiled like
have
you,
that.
bro. We're,
So I don't.
I
get
don't
to-
think.
I've seen Jimmy Buffett there, and I saw Adam Sandler there recently.
Nice.
But other than that, I've not obviously attended a game or get to hang out on.
never had
cons-
concessions there.
No.
Jimmy Buffett was
Okay.
a good show.
Yeah, it was
All right,
good.
well, allow us to. So, the smash burgers, second to none.
Is that out on the picnic?
Out
plaza
on
there?
the
Yeah.
patio thing.
Okay.
And Shaq's Big Chicken.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's
Freaking
talk
good.
about that. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
all right.
really, really
So
good. And the
Got it.
popcorn. I love the
Okay.
popcorn.
popcorn's good. But
Oh.
you're bougie.
Yeah, we get the
executive washroom
churros, we
Churros.
get-
You can have those too.
It's all right. All right. So then, what's your go-to meal in the valley or your restaurant?
It's got to be Mexican, right? It's got to be. You know, I spent 3.5 years in Texas. Tex-Mex is pretty good, but it's not compared.
They use too much
California,
corn. There's too much
California
corn and stuff.
Mexican second to none.
Where do you go?
It's more fresh than anything.
Yeah.
Pueblo Viejo in Palm Desert here, next to by the diner by TJ's, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's pretty good.
That's good.
That's my spot.
Yeah, I love that too. What's on your radio come game day? What do you bump in to get
Yeah,
you
what hypes the hype
what?
man?
Well, yeah, what gets the hype man going?
I still religiously listen to New York sports talk radio. So
Wait, what?
Yeah, that gets the head, man.
Wait,
yeah,
what?
yeah. I don't.
So there's no music in your car?
No music. Podcast and sports radio. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
Really?
that's a first.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I mean, again, no judgments. What's your treat yourself day look like for Tim?
Get some drinks flowing, sit out at the pool, and not move
What's
until
your-
the
what's your
sun goes
drink?
in.
What's your
To keep warm back on the East Coast, I would do whiskey or a whiskey bourbon guy, and then now I'm a big seltzer, High Noons or Buzzbox sometimes.
There you go.
But yeah.
Okay, so we're
Cocktails.
just
Not a
we're
beer
having
guy.
some cocktails and
Yeah.
sitting by the pool.
Yep.
It's not a bad day.
Like
Or
cards?
golf.
Poker?
I
Play
don't
cards?
play. I don't play poker.
Perfect. You want it?
You play golf?
I do play golf. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I've played quite a bit since I've been out here.
Oh,
so.
I'm sure.
Wow,
Where do you
have to,
play?
man.
I've got a nice little connection over at PGA. So play the stadium course.
Oh, is that all just
That's a
that
good one.
place?
Yeah.
It's a good
Okay.
one. I played
Desert
it.
Willow. I've got
Played
Palm
it.
Desert
That's a
here.
great one.
So
Yeah.
played there quite a bit.
Right on.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Like it. Are you a DC or an MCU guy?
What is MCU?
I
don't know.
just
I'm not gonna change these. I'm
You
not
have
gonna.
to change
I'm not
the
gonna
question.
change it.
Nobody
I'm
knows
not.
what that is.
I don't. Is that's the comic world? And
Yeah. So you got Marvel or
know nothing about either.
really?
But I do like Batman. So whatever Batman.
That was
is.
my next question. So who's your favorite superhero? So that's a DC.
Yeah, it's got to be Batman.
So Batman. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Why? Because he's a real dude that does cool stuff.
Yeah, like nobody knows who he is. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty.
Kind of like
awesome.
Fuego.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which
See-
we didn't
see
even
what-
get into.
We can't. It's
I
top
know
secret.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's classified
It is.
information.
How would it be possible just to get him on the show to
Fuego would
stand?
be a cool pod. Like you guys just ask the questions and he just
Of his
nods
handler?
Yeah, dude.
We'd have to ask all yes
I'd
or
want
no
them
questions.
both. No, I
Nods
want
is-
them both. He could be the interpreter.
Give a shout out here to Dennis, Fuego's handler.
Okay.
Just got a job with the San Antonio Spurs. So he's
Attaboy, Dennis.
he's leaving. Yeah, he's
I mean, sad, but good
Yeah.
job.
All right.
yeah.
So
Live
who's
your
gonna lead
dream.
Fuego around?
Live your dream.
Yeah.
Do you know Guillermo G? He's one of the promo crew. The
I'd
taller,
have to-
slick black.
I probably know if
black
I
hair.
saw him.
I think I've seen him.
Yeah, he took over those duties yesterday until they either find
All right.
somebody or yeah.
So I'll have to put an application.
Yeah.
Hey, that's your way into the churros.
Who's gonna handle you? Who's gonna handle
That's
you?
you.
I'm not your handler. I'm gonna go. I got.
I
things
know.
to do.
Actually,
Come game day. I got.
yeah, squirrel.
I'm focused.
You're
dude.
gone.
This guy, he's the ADD. I'm the Adderall. That's
Nice.
that's the team we got going on.
It seems to work
Yeah.
pretty well.
That's great.
Yeah. I am out there. It
Yeah.
is. I'm a loose cannon.
Yeah.
I'm out doing my thing come game day, and you are pretty dialed in.
Gotta, you know.
I
we all
know.
got our
I think
thing.
that's why well, first of all, it's probably why it works.
Probably,
And
yeah.
I'm more your speed, man.
That's what it feels like.
It doesn't slow down. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, there's no
It's-
off button.
Give me 3 hours of sleep a
Do
night.
you have
I'm
a
good.
handler?
I don't.
You
I
don't?
have somebody. So the person, I wouldn't say handler, but they're on a headset.
I mean, so
queuing.
yeah, someone because
They're queuing me.
Yeah.
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 Yes. Otherwise, it's just because there's not.
My
enough-
wife does that. That's my.
That's,
she has a
yeah.
headset,
yeah.
and yeah, no, totally.
Honey, we got to be over here. Honey, we got to
Yeah.
go. We're over here. Honey, we got to go.
And you're lucky because she's dialed in.
She
Your
is
wife
the
is pretty
anchor.
cool,
She
yeah.
is definitely the
Yeah.
anchor. Yeah, there's a lot of people that give her a lot of props,
Yeah.
for sure.
She deserves it.
It is a lot of. I don't know how you put up with that, but you know,
She loves
it's
you, man.
25 years, man.
Yeah.
We were knocking it
Congrats.
out.
That's a good
Thanks.
run.
25 years. How many mirrors did she break? If it's only 7 years per mirror, that's
yeah,
like
no, we've been doing it. Yeah, we're veterans at the
All
game. All right. So, what other profession, other than what you're doing now, would you have liked to try or done?
Teacher. I have no issue public speaking. Love
Yeah.
teaching, learning.
What would you teach?
I'll say phys ed. How about that? It's
A
easy.
PE teacher.
Yeah.
What grade level?
High school.
You know, it's funny. You know, when you say that we're similar in personalities, which I kind of picked up on already.
Right.
I actually was going to be a teacher.
Really?
Yes, sir. I actually have. I bet you didn't know that. Fun fact.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
no.
fun fact about Kyle. So back in Washington, I was on my way. I was on my way to a bachelor's degree.
And he saw something shiny.
No. You want to get into it because
No,
I don't want to.
No ADD.
No, exactly right. I went to be an elementary school teacher, and I already got some credits towards that. And I started a family, is what happened, and so I made
That'll do
I
it.
made a decision.
Yeah.
It was either buy a house, raise a family, or continue my education and kind of go down that path.
Right.
Because being a teacher it's hard to get educated,
Yeah.
and you go down a really just strenuous path to get that certification. And so I didn't
No,
want to
you
put my
did good.
I didn't want to put my family through
You
that.
made the right choice.
So I chose
You
to
got
buy a
solid
house and
family.
raise
Sure.
Yeah.
kids and do that,
And it all worked out.
It all worked out.
We're
so.
sitting here.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Anyway,
Heck yeah.
so yeah,
that decision
Yeah.
got
is
me
why
here.
we're here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I respect that. It's awesome. Yeah, I
Thanks.
totally love that. All right, last question. What's your favorite curse word?
Can I say it?
Absolutely. Wait.
I don't use the word, but that would be the word if I.
That's a good one.
It,
Dude, that had me by surprise. Well done.
I use it normally like if I hit my head on something or smash my thumb in a door. That's
Right.
That's what it comes
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great word. It's a perfect vent word.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
if you add a couple words in front of it and one or two behind it,
Yeah.
you just all your pain goes away.
Therapeutic.
Yeah, it's therapeutic.
That was a good one, man.
Exactly.
That was a great response.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, I appreciate
Yeah,
you
dude,
being
thanks
here,
so
brother.
much.
Thanks for
Like,
having me.
Dude,
Well,
you're,
I saw an episode before you had asked. As I mentioned, right? It popped up in the recommended, and then when you asked me, I was like, "This is awesome," because I'm never on this side of it,
Right?
I'm on the other side, and so I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. This is great.
Yeah, no, listen,
I'm
and,
so-
and
yeah.
ask him to come back.
absolutely. We do, yeah, as we always do. We ask all of our guests, but
Yes.
I mean, Would you be willing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, that's
yes.
a quick
Always,
yes.
always,
I
man.
love that. I love that.
Get it going again. Maybe once they make a run here, and
Well, and I think that's the fun part about this show right now is like kind of the season. We're evolving. Yeah. This is new for us. Right. You know, we're Garage Band right now. We're just having some fun with this. We're Wayne's World in the basement.
Each episode is a little bit more.
We're getting
refined.
there.
Right.
Yeah, and I think come playoff time, especially.
This is half the battle here, right? The equipment, the mics.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
well, we've learned a
Getting
couple
the audio
things.
sync just right.
We've learned.
We've
learned.
2 episodes we had to leave in the can because the audio didn't.
before you know it, you'll be doing a live one at Spotlight 29 at a viewing
Wow.
party.
Well,
From your mouth to God's ears.
You
Let's
know?
go.
We're open to it. We've actually talked about taking it to the streets.
Yeah.
And now that we've kind of learned our ways through this.
That's great.
We
You've already got
definitely-
players on, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's
we've been very
huge.
fortunate. So.
And I mean, look, we got to really thank the fans, the friends, the organization. Like, everybody's been so generous,
Amazing.
and so
Yeah.
kind, and
So amazing to us.
you know, people. I'm not a guy people come up to. You know, I'm just a guy. But when they come up and say, "Hey, we listened to it. The show was great. We really had a good time. We learned a lot."
That's
like,
awesome.
That means everything.
It does.
Sure.
And so,
Yeah.
you know,
Thank you. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
really, it does mean a lot.
Yeah.
And for you guys to say yes, we didn't really think like we would get you to come on or
Oh,
like
yeah.
in our minds it
we
was.
didn't even know what this was going to look
Yeah.
like.
So I love it. We're gonna keep doing it as long as we can, and as long as people want to say yes to it, and and keep supporting us, we're gonna do it. So
As long as
Dude.
that chair is full, we'll be doing it.
I love it. So,
Yes.
dude,
Yeah.
thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Honestly, you've just been amazing.
Thank you guys. This is
Can we
great.
get a Go Birds from the hype man himself?
All right. What do you have? Just a Go Birds?
Well,
anything
what?
you want.
Let's Go Birds or Go Birds?
Go
You-
fire,
yeah.
anything.
Firebirds fans, welcome back to Acrisure Arena. I need you to make some noise.
Yeah, buddy. Go
There you go.
Birds.
All right, go Birds.
Go Birds.
All right.
Yes.
Well, that was fun. If you're enjoying the Firebirds Fan Zone podcast on YouTube, be sure to drop a comment down below and hit that like button. Also, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out when a new episode drops. The Firebirds Fan Zone podcast is available on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and a whole bunch of other podcast platforms. So however you get your weekly dose of the Firebirds Fan Zone podcast, we invite you to share it across all your socials. And you can follow us on Instagram at Firebirds Fan Zone Podcast. And on Facebook, just search, guess what? Firebirds Fan Zone Podcast. The Firebirds Fan Zone Podcast is brought to you by Kyle Garman Realtor. Whether you're buying or selling, whether it's for your forever home or that quiet desert vacation getaway, Kyle Garman and the team at Keller Williams have the experience and skill to make that process simple and convenient. Check them out today at kylegarman.kw.com. Our podcast is also brought to you by DesertDefenseLawyers.com, DUI and criminal defense throughout the Coachella Valley. The criminal justice system is scary and confusing, but relief is just a click away at DesertDefenseLawyers.com. We've been keeping folks out of the penalty box since 2008.